Dime qué tú quieres, papi. ¿Quieres que lo mueva para ti? Mueve, mueve. ¿Te gusta cuando me muevo así? Así.
Thank you, God, for this day. We have lived everything in our life, our health, our family, the guidance you have given us, allow us guidance to the path of righteousness. Amen.
Really, I'ma get that bitch. Revenge is a dish best served cold. She took my son, now my soul is cold. He took my daddy, now my soul is old. Yeah. Woke up.
Yeah, man.
That's hot shit right there, man.
So what we gonna do? We gonna dub?
King Chaka ENT. Y'all can check out the music on Spotify, Apple, and other services. Doing what we do 3 to 4 nights a week. King Chaka ENT. From the
She
back
starts
seat.
shooting.
Ow!
That dude was like, ow.
What was that?
Outside the car,
That nigga
deputies'
got
body
popped.
cameras capturing the bullets flying through the air.
We got shots fired
couldn't
up
have been
here.
a straight
We need
shot. It had
backup
to be-
immediately. Start
Are you-
EMS. Start EMS.
What
We got
the
a
fuck?
civilian. We got a civilian hit.
The deputy.
Looks like we got us another hit.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? How y'all feel? Remember, an educated public cannot be controlled. Learn to be active. The views and events expressed here are totally whack. Are not necessarily the views of anyone. Happy holidays, y'all. I think I had a freaking monologue I wanted to do, but I forgot and I didn't leave notes about it. I work today, so forgive me. I'm trying to think. It might come to me, but anyways, happy holidays. How was the holidays? You know, a lot of people get upset when you say happy holidays because they're like, oh, it's Merry Christmas. It's like, wait a minute. There's a whole bunch of other cultures that celebrate different holidays at this time of the year. And I think that you're disrespecting them by telling them to say Merry Christmas. Maybe they don't celebrate Christmas. Maybe they celebrate Hanukkah or something else. Whatever it is. And I think that we should be more open to other cultures. And it's a part of the colonization. I can't say it any nicer. It's like, you know, we gave you your language, we gave you your culture, we gave you which holidays to celebrate, and that's what you're supposed to do. Any other holidays is sacrilegious. So like if somebody says they don't really like Christmas or whatever, maybe they you know do kind of celebrate it, or maybe they just don't like it. It's like that's an unpopular opinion. You know, you're not supposed to not like Christmas. It's like, what is about Christmas that you don't like? Well, you know, it is what it is. I don't care for any of these holidays, honestly. I don't. But I do them for the kids or whatever. I don't want to leave them, make them feel left out and stuff. When I lived in Cyprus, my neighbor was a Jehovah's Witness, and she was our friend. She'd come over and kick it. The kids kick it. They hang out. But they didn't celebrate no holidays, birthdays, nothing. And I don't know. I totally understand it because I come from a religious background, so I get it. I totally get it. Some of this stuff is probably damn demonic any damn ways. It's probably not right anyways. I don't really celebrate birthday, my own birthday. I do the kids, but I don't celebrate my birthday. I just don't see a point in it really. But I felt some kind of way about the kids. I felt like they were left out, man. I really did. I remember one time when it was Halloween and all the kids were out and they were doing trick or treating and stuff. And her kids were just in the window, just looking out the window, and they just looked all sad, you know. And probably Halloween, probably the worst one out of all of them as far as that's concerned. So I totally get why someone wouldn't want to celebrate it, but I just feel like, um, it's for the kids, for the kids, for the kids. Anyways, how y'all feel out there? I wanted to do a monologue, but I totally forgot what it was. So I guess instead of a monologue, I'll just see what pops up here on Instagram to replace it. It says major world events held in places with human rights abuses. I'm not going to say the names of these countries, the flags. It says, why is the West suddenly upset about Qatar but silent about these places? I saw some damn clips that's really interesting about how they were doing these Israeli journalists when they was going over there to cover the World Cup, really giving them a hard time. The journalists from Israel. Let me read this. It says, Canada will partially host the FIFA World Cup 2026. And then it says, over 1,381 indigenous children were found buried at 6 former Canadian government-run residential schools. Minorities continued to experience systemic racism, including in interactions with police forces. Indigenous people lack health care facilities and live in underfunded and overcrowded housing. Canada transfers weapons to Colombia despite militarized repression of protesters. Reports of sexual assault and harassment of female inmates by male prison staff. So yeah, they're talking about Canada there, and I'll be saying like Canada, they play the role of the good guy, but they do it really well. I think it's like, again, I'll be talking about good cop, bad cop, and Canada will be the good cop. Let me read another one. It says the U.S. will host the Summer Olympics in 2028 and partially host the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Multiple states enacted anti-LGBT right laws, including a ban on gender-affirming health care for transgender minors. Abortion is illegal in multiple states. Muslim men remain indefinitely detained in the U.S. military in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, in violation of international law. American authorities have been reported to detain child migrants in unsafe conditions and human cages. Over 1 million Iraqis were murdered throughout the American-led occupation of Iraq. Those are touchy subjects. It says the Israelis hosted Eurovision in 2019, Miss Universe in 2021. The Israeli apartheid system maintained its oppression and domination over all Palestinians. The systemic genocide of Palestinians with Israel citizenship and those in the West Bank and Gaza. The 15-year siege and blockade of Gaza. Israeli settlements and cities like Tel Aviv are built on Palestinian land. Palestinians are killed and expelled so Israelis can live in it. In 2021, Israelis killed 6 Palestinian children per month. 500 to 700 Palestinian kids are kidnapped and held in Israeli military prisons every year. That's touchy, touchy, touchy. Let me read this one. The UK hosted the Champions League final in 2011 and 2013. The UK sold over $20 billion in weapons to countries that violate human rights and conduct war crimes. The UK illegally invaded Iraq and did not leave until 2011. Torture, sexual violence, and other abuses were reported in detention centers where UK forces operated. Some Iraqi detainees died as a result of mistreatment or were killed by British soldiers. Over 1 million Iraqis were killed throughout the occupation of Iraq. They could have wrote that better, and they could have made a whole bunch of more bullet points for this one right here. Let Let me read another one. It says China hosted the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing. China is committed a genocide against the Uyghur Muslim population, including persecution, mass detention, and disappearances, surveillance, and forced sterilization and forced labor, restrictions on freedom of speech and freedom of religion. China is encroaching on Hong Kong's autonomy and freedom. Human rights issues include arrest and detention of protesters, restrictions on freedom of speech. Let's go on. South Africa hosted the FIFA World Cup in 2010. During the World Cup, there was an increase in police harassment of homeless South Africans, refugees, and migrants living in shelters or high-density inner-city accommodation. People were removed from their homes in violation of domestic law prohibiting forced evictions. FIFA World Cup requirements in host cities were used by police to expel homeless people and street traders from controlled access sites and zones around World Cup events. Most South Africans did not benefit from the World Cup and had to deal with an increase of social inequities and poverty. I think they could have did a better job with the bullet points on that one too. Brazil hosted the 2014 FIFA World Cup. Labor deaths related to the construction of the 2014 World Cup. Reports of torture in police stations and detention centers. In 2014, protesters and estimated 20,000 children were imprisoned in Brazilian jails. About 250,000 people were forcefully removed from their homes to build the 2014 World Cup stadium. Yeah, so those examples right there are kind of bad for this argument because all of that could have been put up under Qatar. Like, yeah, you could have put that under Qatar, pretty much all of that. And that's what they're complaining about Qatar. So that's why they're saying. But I feel like whoever, man, the World Cup is all these countries playing against each other. So I think that, it's fair to move the World Cup around in these different countries. All of the countries aren't going to be, perfect all the damn time. Like, not to give Qatar a break. I'm just saying any other countries that they choose to put it in, you could probably find something on them. And again, not to lessen anything Qatar does, but how do you choose one country from another? And then I can't help but to feel like it's a Muslim thing. You know what I'm saying? All of these other countries they named were like Christian, Jewish people. Let me see. Except for China. But yeah, so, I think it's a Muslim thing that they're just hating on them for that. It's like, I don't know what it is. I was talking to my little nephew about it. And it's like the thing with the freaking how Christians feel about Muslims is such a brainwashing, man. It's so brainwashing. It's so ridiculous. Because I grew up mother Christian, dad Muslim. And I've been to the mosque and I've been to 100,000 churches. I've been to a lot of mosques. And I can really see you guys, okay? I can really see it. You guys are looking at this thing from the outside, looking in, and you think you know, but it's like you really just have that attitude that your religion is the right one and everybody else's is wrong, so you're not even trying to hear anything from over there. It's like, what do they do? It was a lady, I was working at Home Depot one time, and somehow we were talking about Islam, and she said, what do they do? Do they worship the devil? And I was like, I couldn't even find the words to answer that. I was just like flabbergasted that where does this come from? Where does that idea come from? But let me tell you what I know for sure, from what I can see, real life. The difference between Muslims and Christians is like almost non-existent. I swear. When it comes down to the scriptures, when it comes down to like what they believe, what you're supposed to be doing related to the book and so forth and so on, Muslims and Christians, they're the most alike, I think, than any other two religions that you want to name, any of the major religions. If you name some major religions, they're going to have way more differences than Christianity and Islam. So you guys need to look at it and study and try to see what the hell it is going on, because you want to fight with the Muslims and say they're like so far other, and it's really crazy to me. It's really insane. It's really insane. And the Jewish is the same too. They're very, 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 very similar. I would say the Jewish Judaism is further away from Christianity and Islam than Islam and Christianity is to they're closer together than they are closer to Judaism. But you have to understand that, you know, these are Abrahamic religions, and really Islam and Christianity was born out of Judaism. You know, they say Jesus was a Jew. He was like an imam or whatever. Anyways, I'm gonna move on from this because I know y'all I'm make everybody mad, but I wish I would just kind of look at it more and be a little more open-minded, because you're like talking about tolerance. You're saying that you're going to have tolerance, but you're not having tolerance for the Islamic people or the Muslims, because they're like the worst ones. Like, you feel like, you know, they are the devil, like the girl said, they worship the devil or whatever. So maybe you're more friendly to Buddhism or Hinduism. I don't know. Are you more friendly to Judaism? Do all of them worship the devil too? Because you've been brainwashed if you're thinking that Muslims worship the devil, and they're like the furthest thing away from Christianity, and they're like that's what somebody said I was talking to. They said it's the opposite of Christianity. I was like, no, that is absolutely not true. Please look it up. It's the same stuff. The book is the same. It has the same stories in it. The Quran has the same stories in it as the Bible. Same stories. One of the few differences is where Islam feels like Jesus wasn't the son of God. They feel like he was a prophet, but they won't go as far to say that Jesus was the son of God. And they don't believe in like the Immaculate Conception, being that, you know, Mother Mary, you know, she just was impregnated by God, just like spontaneously had a baby. Like, they don't believe in that, and they don't believe that Jesus was the son of God. So that's about the only differences. I mean, that you may think that sounds like a lot, but think about other religions though. Think about Hindu. Does Hinduism mention Jesus, or Buddhism, or Judaism? Do any of them mention Jesus? Islam does. Islam looks at Jesus as a prophet. Those other ones don't. None of those other ones. I don't think there is another one. Anyways, like I said, let me move on. What is this? I'm kind of scared to play this because I don't know what it is.
Really go some because we have 24 hours between the meals. You know, we only eat once a day, and we can really go some because we have 24 hours between the meals.
I think there's something to that. I read that book again. Like I said, my dad was Muslim. He was in the Nation of Islam, but I went to Orthodox mosque on my own as I grew older. I like Orthodox Islam better than the Nation of Islam. No hate. But I read How to Eat to Live, and that's good. And I think that the 1 meal a day is a pretty good thing too. I think because other places, what they say is like eat less, live longer, something like that. I don't know. That's something that's stuck in my head because I know it's true. It's like eating more is gonna cut your life down. Even less keeps you alive longer. And you know, I always like to compare things to the bush. You know, evolution, human evolution. Just coming from my anthropology side, I always compare it to the bush. So when I say the bush, I mean people out there living off the land, not like how we live today. And anyway, so that was the majority of our evolutionary history. This time of us living in these cities and stuff is a new thing. But when we was in the bush, I mean, how often do you think you really ate like a heavy meal? Like, I think we're snackers too. We're like grazers. So I think that's okay too, to kind of like graze throughout the day, meaning like never really eating anything heavy or anything substantial, kind of just, you know, eating light, very, very light throughout the day, just like a couple of bites here and there. And I think that's a healthy way too. That's just me. I am no physician. Let me read this. It says, eat 1 meal a day or 1 meal every other day, and it will prolong your life. Do not think that you will starve. On the contrary, you'll be treating yourself to life, and life filled with sickless days. You can hardly get sick eating this way. I know because I have this experience. If you eat the proper food, which I have given to you from Allah in the person of Master Farah Muhammad, to whom be praised forever, in this book you will hardly ever have a headache. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, How to Eat to Live, Part 2, 1976. So that was a caption to this. Oh, too much going on there. It says, what it says, if you don't smile like this when my number pops up on your phone, delete it. And that's asking for too much, y'all. Y'all be tripping with that shit. I hate the internet with that shit because people be taking all that shit serious and then putting it in their life. And that's toxic. You ain't gonna have no fucking friends. Shit, what do I know? I can't tell you nothing. I hardly talk to anybody on the phone. You know, I have a very small circle. So I don't know. What do I know? Freaking I don't know. I don't know about that. You know, small circle. I don't think it's a good thing. I ain't gonna lie. As far as like, you should have more interactions with people. We're herd animals, so I think naturally we need interactions with other humans. Like that's a part of like the food. We need food. We need water. We need sunlight. We need shelter, and we also need other people. Like we need them to be a healthy human. I'm kind of stalling to get into the show because at this time I would rather have been doing a monologue. Oh yeah.
To the social media universe, find them expeditiously. To the social media universe, find them expeditiously.
Did he have to look up expeditiously? Spotted in SeaTac Airport in Seattle, Washington. So what made him go all off like that? But the way we're supporting Ukraine and people are pretending that it's not Nazis, you know, all through there. I think that's giving a lot of steam to this stuff here. I don't know, you guys. If y'all support that, then just say you do, you know. But if you don't pretend that you know, don't, you know, you're getting lost and supporting something that you don't really want to support. But if you do support it, support it. That's how you roll. That's what you is. But stand on that shit. That's what I always say. Stand on your shit. That's how you feel. That's how you feel. Stand on it. Don't be fucking wishy-washy about it. You know, pretending that that's not what it is, making excuses and saying it's something else than what it is. And there's so much stuff that has come out to show you freaking Ukraine is full of a bunch of damn Nazis. It looking to me like Russia is fighting Nazis over there. You know, and we're sending them money. So I don't know. If you don't believe what I'm saying, look that shit up. Somebody making some damn baloney. Oh man, why are they showing this? I be smoking cigarettes. Y'all killing me. It says if you have a seasonal affective disorder I'll be doing the Mind Care Kits again this winter. Mind Care Kits are the historic path to treating and managing mental health disorders such as non-clinical depression and anxiety. A lot of people kill themselves around this time of the year, Christmas time. A lot of people kill themselves. It's a very common thing. It happens every year. I don't know. And that's another thing with the Christmas, because I'm like, everybody, you're supposed to love Christmas. You're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be with your family. You're supposed to buy gifts. You're supposed to set up a tree and do decorations. Man, that's a whole lot of pressure. Some people don't have families. Some people don't have the money to buy these gifts. Some people don't have the money or time to go get a Christmas tree or whatever. And it's this pressure, like you have to do this. And then I always mention this. I hate that question of what did you get for Christmas? I'm sure I talked about this last year. I've been doing the show for a year now, so I'm sure I talked about this. That question, what did you get for Christmas? I know y'all don't feel it as a rude thing, but it is. It's super ugly. Don't ask people that. Don't ask people what they got for Christmas. Don't ask them that. It's rude. Everybody don't have it like you. Everybody don't have money to do that. Some people don't even celebrate Christmas. And I just said, a lot of people kill themselves every time this year. I mean, you got little kids. The little kids go to school and the other kids ask them, what did you get for Christmas? How do you think it makes them feel? The other kid is like, yeah, I got this big old thing that costs a lot of money and this thing. And we went on vacation and we went to this place and we saw this and we did all of this super cool stuff. That's cool that you did all of that. That's fine. I'm not taking your shine away. But how do you think that other kids feel who sat in his house throughout Christmas break and he didn't get no gifts, barely had food, his family is struggling? You're going to punish him more on top of that? We're making him feel bad and throwing it in his face. You don't mean to throw it in his face, but that's what you're doing when you ask him what he got for Christmas and then you say what you got for Christmas. It's ugly. What's up, Pat?
Not much, man, but I didn't turn out so bad. I didn't get a bunch of stuff for Christmas when I was a kid, but I think me not getting stuff and seeing how things really were, what people really are doing, made me want to do things myself. So I don't know. I don't know if we should like mental health is a thing, but I think it's mostly because they don't have an acceptance of, okay, maybe I don't have now, but I can have,
But
like,
you a little kid. You can't expect a little kid. I'm saying I have a problem with that question of what did you get for Christmas, especially for little kids.
well,
That shit made me uncomfortable. I still remember how I felt when people asked me these questions.
well, I mean, I don't know. For me, I mean, because like I said, I had a childhood where I didn't get much for Christmas, but like I said, they're just like, I didn't become a jealous person or what. No, I just turned, I was like, okay, that's cool. Even though, whatever it was, that they got, okay, that's cool. What did you get? Oh, sweater. Okay, cool. And that was that. So, I mean, like, I
I
think
just
we play into that, making kids soft, where they think that the expectations are supposed to be way up here. And do you think not asking changes how they feel about what Christmas was?
I think it hurts. It hurts every time they get asked that question. So I'm telling people to stop it because a lot of people don't even celebrate Christmas. It's not cool. There's a whole big world of people out there, and the way they live is not necessarily like you. I'm not saying you, but I mean others, however you lived. It's like you just
But
trying to make light conversation. That's another reason why I don't like that shit. It's small talk or whatever. Oh, hey, what
but
did
you
y'all
but
do for
you're a tough
Christmas?
but you're a tough person just because of your experiences. And when we start taking different experiences from children, that allows them to be more just, passive, or maybe even some kids, I think that they think that they're, they they're supposed to have these things where, like, if they don't have an understanding of where their parents really are, like they're gonna have this thing where they hate their parents. They have, like it's just needs to be something to talk about, or like, I mean, I don't know if it's a different way to do it, but I think they do need to have that conversation because, like, I think the more you pretend that these things are not happening, the more that they realize you're full of shit, and then that
I
you
just,
know,
I mean, I get your point. I just don't like it. I don't think people should ask that. I think it's rude. I think it's unintentionally rude. That's what
because
I
I
think.
mean,
You got a
in my
Muslim person in your school, and they don't even celebrate Christmas at all. Like, and now they got to have this conversation. Or you have a Hindu person, or a Buddhist person, or a Jehovah Witness. All of
mhm.
these people don't celebrate. A Jewish person. These people don't celebrate Christmas.
Okay, and then that's a good time for other people to understand what's going on with other people's cultures. Because like, if it's just like you ignored what other people's differences, cultures, whatever the reason that you might try to spin it and say, oh, let's just not have that talk, is really weakening us as a people. Like, I mean, we have differences, and so, no, and you believe that those kids, maybe they could wonder about Christmas, but I'm sure those parents have a way of making those things, making like, cause I mean, there's a lot of kids like what you're talking about. Shoot, Christmas don't matter so much because they get shit all year round. They ask for stuff, they want stuff, shit, they get it on April the 2nd.
And that's what my dad would always say. He's like, you can give a gift to someone at any time of the year. You don't have to wait till Christmas to give somebody a gift. And that's true, but it's still gonna little kids, it's still gonna make them uncomfortable because they're feeling left out. It's like, oh, all my
But that's
family,
the
everybody I
thing.
know got
But that's the
kids.
whole thing. I
I
think
mean,
that's
got
one of our
presents.
biggest. But I think that's one of our biggest problems is that we're trying to make our children so comfortable that they don't understand. Like the world is uncomfortable.
It is. I just think that it's like I said earlier. It's kind of like a part of colonization because you're supposed to celebrate Christmas and you're supposed to give
Not
gifts and you're
this.
supposed to do that. And
It's
so
just
it's
that
like,
it's a it's just that it's a capitalist society, and it's everything around you is making you like discover your hustle even more. I mean, either you're
it's
gonna be
I
the
feel like
father.
it's oppressing it's pressing your culture on everyone else's. It's making it's like your culture is more superior. Like, I'm a Christian, I celebrate Christmas. Why the hell y'all don't do it? Like, you know, and like I said earlier, people think that it's people who are Muslim, they celebrate, they worship the devil and shit.
Who thinks that?
I'm telling you, it was a specific person I talked to back in the day when I worked at Home Depot. We were talking about Islam, and they said, "Do Muslims
But
worship the
why?
devil?"
But why do people think stuff like that?
Hey, I cannot answer that one. I
I
have
can.
no idea
It's because they don't have enough conversations with people. They don't talk about the differences between themselves and others.
because they
People,
only see it from
people.
their point of view. That's
No,
my
no,
whole
no, no.
point.
But
They're
but but
like,
it but you're with your with your logic, you're pushing the same thing that pushes like instead of like having the conversation, you rather say just pretend like it's not happening, and then there's more clueless people that we're living in a world where like we have every type of person that you can think of. I mean, and if we
but
don't
you can
talk
have
about
that conversation in a better way. You don't have
which
to ask them
is
what they got for Christmas. Because that shows that you're ignorant when you ask everybody what they got for Christmas, because you think everybody is Christian and everybody celebrates Christmas and everybody gets gifts, but they don't. So that's what I'm saying. The question is rude. It comes from a ignorant place. You could totally have the conversation about the different cultures in another way. You don't have to ask them what they got for Christmas.
all right.
It's
So
like,
should they first ask them what do they celebrate Christmas, or Like,
Something like
maybe
that. What is your religion? You know, what do you do? What do y'all do at this time of the year? You know,
okay. So I mean, that still means that we can have the conversation that is well needed because we have a bunch of ignorance. Because I hate to say stupid, but we have a lot of ignorant people who don't really understand all the differences in the world. Or it just right here in America. Like, there's people from every place on the planet that lives here. At least different types, and we don't open ourselves up enough to understand what other people are going through. Maybe that allows them to say, "Oh, dang, everybody doesn't celebrate Christmas because, you know, they haven't been open enough to those people who don't really." And then maybe they can understand, like, well, dang, shoot, what y'all do seems to be just as probably cooler than what we do. You know what I'm saying? So
and I don't think we ever get that far. That's the problem.
you don't believe in humanity.
They so stuck. They feel like their religion, their way of life, the way that they live is the right one, and what everyone should be doing. And if
Well,
they're not, then they're weird.
but let me
Others.
ask you, because I mean, it won't be something that's going to happen overnight. But are you going to be the pessimist and say, "Oh no, people will never get right," and speak that kind of stuff into existence? Or it's like, hey, you know what? People might be somewhat ignorant, but they have a chance to learn something, and I want to be a part of helping them discover these differences and nuances. These, you know,
And that's the whole reason why I do this show. And that's the
Okay, but
reason
you're
why
but you're but you're telling at the same time, like you're kind of fighting against your whole broad um idea of what to do with us as a people, but you're still trying to shut them off and saying, hey, no, don't have that conversation with somebody. Like, maybe
I'm not saying
open
don't
a
have that conversation. I said specifically don't ask people what they got for Christmas. Don't do it. I'm saying it's rude. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well,
That question is rude. That's what I think.
Cause I mean, I think for me, like, I want somebody to ask, like, no, I got a pair of socks and I got an ugly ass tie, and everybody that I you
But
know,
but but that's perfectly fine within Christians, within people who celebrate it,
but I'm
and
not
within
even really
people
Christian.
who get gifts.
Well,
But
and
but
see,
if
that's the thing.
but
I would consider myself everything, really, but
but
cause
you celebrate Christmas and y'all give
it's
gifts.
yeah, cause it's
So
not based around religion. It's based around culture. It's
yeah,
not
so but I'm asking you, what about all the people who don't?
because how about all of the
And the ones
Muslims
that don't
that
have
do?
money. And when you say I got a pair of socks and a sweater that is ugly and whatever, and the other kid is like, yeah, I'm a Christian and we celebrate Christmas, but we didn't have a Christmas tree. We didn't even have nothing to eat that day.
Yeah,
Nothing.
but those are good conversations to have so that people are not running around here stupid thinking that everything is all good and gravy.
But how does that kid feel having that conversation?
He
This kid
he
is
feels a part of the world. Like you're
no,
trying.
that kid is gonna be crying. That kid is gonna go into the bathroom and start
Okay,
crying.
look, bro, when some of them might need to cry, bro. Like, that's what toughened us up. Like, you're trying to take away from these children what we had to make us stronger.
That's not good. I don't agree with it. I think it's mean and it's ugly and it's rude.
But it's not. You're like, look, I love you, but I mean, I think that you're being soft on that because, like, really, like, these kids are already getting so soft that, I mean, like, they can't even like, a real winner can't be a winner by themselves. They gotta share in a moment
And
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 downplay
then
their greatness just so that somebody else can
and then the
not feel
pressure
good.
on the parents after that, because the kid comes home, mom, the kid was they kept asking me what I got for Christmas, and it really put me in a bad mood, and da 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 da, it messed me up. I got bullied, you know what I'm saying? I got into a fight with 3 kids, and the parent is like, damn, man, kid is fucking going through this. I'm gonna try to make sure I get some Christmas presents next year, or
Well, I
next year
mean,
comes around.
yeah, but that, I mean, hey, and that does, like, okay, what is wrong with having a natural need to, like, to progress? Like, I think a bunch of people really just rather other people, dim their shine so that they don't have to work harder.
They stuck. That's what you don't understand. It's a
The
lot of
people,
people stuck. They have their life, they have their bills, they have
but
the
why are they
whatever
stuck,
job they work.
man? A
They're
lot
on
of
a limit.
people,
They're on a fixed income. They only make whatever they make, and they cover their bills every month. They fucking make ends meet every month, and that's it.
okay.
They don't
I, I
have
I
no
guess I guess I
opportunities.
wouldn't understand nothing like that, huh?
I don't think you do the way you're talking right now. I mean, I know you do, but what I'm saying is the way you're talking right now is like these people are just not having Christmas presents just because they are sorry and lazy and they're not
No,
willing to work harder.
no, I didn't
That's
say.
what it sounds like you're saying.
But I think that some people think that what they are doing is the best that they can do when there's always other ways of doing things. Like, I mean, that's the thing. I think we have to explore more our creativity to say, hey, you know what? I might be this. I might not want to be a millionaire, but you know what? I can be, a
So so so
multi-thousandaire or something like.
but not everybody is in that. People are stuck. They have these jobs, they work that job, they get paid this certain amount, and that's what they get paid, and their bills are a certain amount. So like, okay, they
Mhm.
could do it, they can make sacrifices. Maybe they just won't eat lunch at work for like the
Bro,
whole year until the end of the year so they can buy a present for their child.
but look, I'm gonna tell you something. There's a lot of growth not happening in different demographics just because, people are really, like not, they so jealous of each other that like if, look, there's people that come here from different countries. Like I see great examples all the time where people had nothing. And it's a difference like when you can change your mindset and get things going and doing things differently than what you have been because you truly, sincerely want to be better, not just okay, doing it because you want to fit in with this person or that person or whatever. It's mostly because you want to see growth. I think a lot of people are stuck like they're seeing bad examples over and over and over again, and we're just kind of allowing, you know people, just like it's almost like you saying F them, like like I feel like the argument that you're giving is more so the one that says that they can't do better
I'm
because
not
if you
saying they
because
can't
you
do
because if
better,
you
but people love to
because
use those examples. Those, like I was saying before on the other show, it's like winning the lottery because there's a paper on this. There's a very peer reviewed freaking very good paper that explains how, like, if you're poor, like how much money you have and what you have to do to get out of that. And then they're like, you can't make a mistake for like 20 years or 30 years. Nothing can go wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that's just not life. That's just most people, something's going to go wrong. They're not, that's what it is.
Mhm.
So you have those few people, the immigrants that come over here and become super successful, but they are the minority. They're the extreme minority, and the majority of them come over here and suffer, making ends meet. This is the majority of the people here in the United States. The majority of the people who live here in the United States, what do they say? They can't afford $1,000 emergency.
$100.
This is the majority of the people here. So you're saying all of these people are just not inspired.
Yeah.
They just not inspired. They could do better.
Yeah, and you're forgiving it. Like you're like making it a part of the culture to just not try more. Like just, oh well, I'm screwed up and I don't have nothing. And like on
That's
Christmas
not what I'm
time,
saying. You got
but
people going hard, grinding, day after day after day after
hmm
day, grinding, trying
and
to get
going through it
ahead. And
and
then they
going
get
through it.
pulled over by the cops and get a damn ticket because they couldn't pay their sticker or something, their freaking license plate or whatever the hell. Something happened. They couldn't pay it, their insurance. They get a damn ticket for no insurance. and that fucking throws their whole thing back into the fucking shithole. The system is set up to keep people struggling and trying to get up. It's set up for that.
Man, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna back off. I mean, because the people that's gonna strive and find a way, give into some of their, like not trying to act like they're all big and bad. And it's like, look, I'm screwed up and I need help. Somebody help me along the way. Somebody guide me. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? What kind of thing are you doing? What, like, if people are always set to be like, okay, it's, not, because I mean, I don't think the average person wants to be doing bad, but a lot of them can be doing better if they're not, thinking so negative.
I agree with you on that. I do. I agree with you on that. The state of mind, and really, being poor is a state of mind.
Yeah, and I know you didn't like, and I get the whole idea, like you didn't like the feeling when somebody asked you, but you know what? There's a lot of people who needs to be asked what they got for Christmas, so they can go through that whole, like, damn, I don't have nothing. Like, let me, what I'm saying, I'm gonna hustle more. I'm gonna, work smarter than harder. You know what I'm saying?
But you got families, like I say, people, Jehovah's Witness, they don't celebrate Christmas.
So that's their choice, and they're not gonna feel bad if that's what they do, if that's what they believe.
The child might grow up and celebrate Christmas.
Well, they shouldn't have, if that's the case, their parents shouldn't have their children around other Christians. If that's the case, if they haven't taught them what, okay, look, we don't do this because of this or whatever, and that they're okay with that. That, like, I mean, that relies more on the parent than somebody who's living their life. Like, you're asking people to, what I'm saying, because if the child shouldn't, what I'm saying,
so the child got to be in a nation that's all not Christians for him to not have that question asked, because he's a Jehovah's Witness and he don't celebrate.
But that's what I'm trying to say. He or she should be accepting of what it is. If they're, if their parents,
they're a child, they don't have no power over their situation. They don't agree with their mom and dad. They don't agree with them. They wish they could celebrate Christmas.
Too bad. And I think we have to be that way to some extent. I mean, I just feel like, I mean, if we're not honest about the differences between household to household and, culture to culture and this, that, and the other, like, those are the people that grow up with resentments because they haven't had a chance to really even learn about the other people and why they don't do this, or, why they do have this, within their culture. Like, I don't know. I mean,
it sounds like you're saying,
if it's that harsh of a question, then I mean, you know what? United States shouldn't allow any holidays. Nobody celebrates nothing.
I just think that they shouldn't answer it.
What is? I don't know. What are you showing me?
It's rude and insensitive. You talking about this picture? I'm about to play this video because freaking Black Friday. I never freaking go shopping on Black Friday. I haven't done it once in my life. It's too many damn people. Somebody always gets hurt.
I went once and I hated it.
Yeah, somebody always gets hurt. Somebody dies every year. Somebody dies, gets trampled or something, and it's just a whole mess. Like it's like celebrating capitalism too. It's celebrating like consumerism. Really, let's not say capitalism. Let's say consumerism. It's like the consumerism holiday. Like most likely you're buying something that you don't need. It's like, and then you make the excuse that you're doing it for for a gift for someone or whatever. You're buying gifts, random ass objects, simply because they're on sale. And then they mark this shit up before they do the sale. Some of the sales be actually a sale, but sometimes it's not. They marked it up already before the freaking, and then they put it on sale, so you're just paying damn near the same price it was. And then you can now with the internet, you can order all this stuff online. What's the point in going in there and fucking fighting with somebody? Anyways, I got this clip right here. Check this out. I'm gonna just play this. The lady snatched the box from the little kid. What is it anyway? What is it? It's like, what is it in the box? Is it, crock pots or something? Look how ridiculous they're acting like animals. What the hell? It's like the worst of us right here. This is the worst of us. Terrible behavior. I wouldn't bring my kid. If I did do this, I wouldn't bring my kid because I know it's crazy. This kid is traumatized now.
Yeah, man, that's chaos. I would say, bro, I wouldn't go into it myself, bro. Like,
yeah, would you bring?
I mean, unless hell no.
Especially when he was that size.
Look, unless I'm trying to teach him to be some, I don't know, like deviant of. I don't get it, bro. Like, there's nothing out there that's that important for me to go and hurt other people to try to have for myself.
Like, I don't see no reason to do it at all. Like, I'm trying to figure out what it is. It's a little
bro. That's why. Like, I mean, even when I was buying J's, I mean, I'm never getting it on the first date. I don't care about it that much.
Yeah, you can wait a couple weeks. Once the supplies come back in, you can just go in.
And if I really need some shoes at that time, I mean, I'm probably gonna order anyway. But like, I just get something different. Like, bro, like, I'm not trying to do what everybody else is doing anyway.
That's what I am. I swear to God, because that part comes from me being really religious when I growing up. Some of the stuff they said the road to hell is wide and full of people, and the road to heaven is.
And the eye of the needle is.
And I'm not trying to, like, I live my life this way. I tried, and it really kind of makes me weird. And it's one of the reasons why, people find me weird is because I don't want to be on what everybody is on. If everybody is on this whatever thing, and it doesn't even matter how I feel about it, I'm automatically going to be like, man, everybody is on that.
It's got the elements of slavery in it because, I mean, people think just because they're out there buying, like, they have herded you into a way of going out and doing, what they want you to do. Go get their money up. Look, I'm telling you all these sales and stuff because I just really want you out here buying up my stuff so that me and my family can have they don't even care about Christmas. It's just like next year I'm trying to, just trying to close out my year big.
It's brainwashing. Yes, that this quarter is the best quarter for all the corporations, pretty much.
Usually.
And so, and then again, like you say, it's about ending the year up. It's ending the year off. So freaking having to do with extra stuff on their shelves too. They're trying to clear off their shelves for the new products that's coming in at the beginning of the year. All this stuff, So you're doing their work for them, That's what you're doing. You're totally brainwashed, and you just want to run out there and fuck. No knock to anybody that's fucking shopping for Black Friday. I'm not.
I mean, if that's what you're into, go right on ahead. Because I mean, look, that might be a ritual or
I don't see going to the store and fighting with somebody though. I mean, I don't know.
Some people like that. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that might be so exciting. It's like, man, I got trampled last year, but shoot, I'm ready this time. I got this and that, and I got my taser, and I'm gonna have my billy club. This time, because shoot, man, the way they got me last, I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, people say, bro,
I don't see how that's fun. I don't see the fun in that.
No, I mean, I'm being facetious, but it's.
I mean, I get you. Somebody could probably, some people just like drama. Maybe they like drama, They want to have a story to tell.
Yeah.
You know,
And then they bring their kids out there and be like, look, this is what we got to look forward to for the next 50 years. This is what we're going to do every year on the day after Thanksgiving. So that, because I mean, the very thing where they used to, these Black Friday sales started off as deals where you can buy you a new slave. Now you're just going to be the slave and go and spend the money that they would have had to, work for.
I always felt like it was ridiculous, even from when I was younger. How long have they been doing this Black Friday thing? Damn, I'm curious.
Well, I mean, because see, I mean, I think almost as long, because I mean, I think it's a bit something that started in the 90s, as far as, if I'm not mistaken, but they're saying like this whole ritual, like, because they've really been doing it since like the 1700s, 1800s, but it was more so with, the slavers, the people who was enslaving people, whatever color they were, like they would be like, okay, look, it's the end of the year. Look, I want to get some of your that inventory you got, some of them people you got over there. Like that's where it began. But as far as it like becoming a phenomenon of like this is like a corporate, what you call it, a capitalist holiday, then I don't really remember. I think it's something that's maybe been going on since the 90s.
It's before the 90s. I see it right now. This is Wikipedia. People probably going to be mad because I use Wikipedia, but I don't care. Y'all can sit on it and rotate. It says Black Friday shopping. Black Friday is a colloquial term for the Friday after Thanksgiving in the United States. It traditionally marks the start of Christmas shopping season in the United States. Many stores offer highly promoted sales at discounted prices and often open early, sometimes as early as midnight or even on Thanksgiving. Some store sales continue on Cyber Monday for the week, Cyber Week. Black Friday occurs on the day after Thanksgiving in the United States. Black Friday has routinely been the busiest shopping day of the year in the United States. So it's the busiest shopping day. Let me see. I saw it. It said the day here, history. It says the day after Thanksgiving has been regarded as the beginning of the United States Christmas shopping season since 1952. The practice may be linked to the idea of Santa Claus parades. Parades celebrating Thanksgiving often include an appearance of Santa at the end of the parade with the idea that Santa has arrived or Santa is just around the corner because Christmas is always the next major Christian holiday following Thanksgiving. In the late 19th and early 20th century, hold on. They're talking about freaking Santa Claus. What year? I saw them show it on the top when I freaking, hold on, let me see, y'all. I don't want to read all of this because I don't know, y'all don't want to hear it. Thanksgiving relationship, Christmas shopping, 1930s. Hold on, let me see. Thanksgiving to be the fourth Thursday in November rather than the last Thursday, meaning that some years work earlier. Hold on. I saw it. It was like 1970 something. Hold on. I know it's here. Y'all give me a second. I'm looking. Freaking frackin' fruck. The use of the phrase spread slowly, first appearing in New York Times on November 29th, 1975, in which it still refers specifically to the busiest shopping and traffic day of the year in Philadelphia, although it soon became widespread. The Philadelphia Inquirer reported in 1985 that retailers in Cincinnati and Los Angeles were still unaware of the term. Okay, so 1975 is looking like the year.
Okay. Well,
but then they have a 19. Let me read this. It says the earliest known use of Black Friday to refer to the day after Thanksgiving occurred in the journal Factory Management and Maintenance for November 1951 and again in 52. Here it referred to the practice of working, calling in sick. Oh, so that's different. And Thanksgiving in order to have a 4-day work in. However, the use does not appear to have caught on. Around the same time, terms Black Friday and Black Saturday came to be used by the police, Philadelphia, Rochester. But I also know that this Black Friday goes back to slavery because I remember reading something about that some time ago, so that they had sales back then. But the common what we would think of today, I think is 1975. So it says, and that was in Philadelphia. So it spread out of Philadelphia to the rest of the nation after 1975. Looks like that's what I'm gonna take from this. So, and you were right, because the 80s, it says, as the phrase gained national attention in the early 1980s, merchants objected to the use of derisive term to refer to one of the most important shopping days of the year, suggesting an alternative deviation. The retailers traditionally operated at a financial loss for most of the year, January through November, and made their profit during the holiday season, beginning on the day after Thanksgiving. When this was recorded in the financial records, once common accounting practices would use red ink to show negative amounts and black ink to show positive amounts. Black Friday, under this theory, is the beginning of the period when retailers would no longer be in the red instead of taking in the year's profits. The earliest known published reference to the explanation occurs to the Philadelphia Inquirer. Okay, 1981. So basically, it caught on in the 80s, and it's mostly a reference to them being in the red all year and finally getting into the black at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know what? I just learned something because I didn't know that. And that makes a lot of sense. I never thought of Black Friday.
I know a lot of people really thought that the Black Friday was, because I mean when they hear about it being attached to slavery, like it's a bunch of, because wasn't really based on black people's skin, because I mean it was, being sold and this, that, and the other. That part, what you just read, I've been knowing for a while now, but like I said, I mean, I don't know. As far as the whole idea of Black Friday is really, not for us as people.
And we probably the main ones out there. Shit. In that clip I just played, it was mostly black people in that clip.
Well,
I don't know if it was mostly. I go back to the clip, but it was a lot of black people in that clip.
I mean, there go the stereotype of, who can't afford to have a good Christmas, because they definitely running out there to get stuff early. Shoot, I might not be able to get Christmas gifts until the week of.
Yeah, I always wait. I don't even know if I'm gonna do that this year. I already told my kids, like, I don't know about it, because I'm getting ready to make a move. So I want to, I don't want to spend. So I'm not in the spending mood right now. It be like that sometimes. But I don't feel bad about it at all.
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of in that same type of mode. I mean, I'm not worrying about everybody this year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm absolutely doing it very small this year. I already told them. I told them I'm not getting them no gifts, but I'm probably lying. But whatever I do spend, it's not going to be a lot because I just don't feel like I'm not in that mode. And I don't feel bad about it. I buy them shit all fucking year, like you said. I buy gifts all fucking year round.
Oh,
so
man. Well,
so,
for Patrick,
they could cry about it. I'm not gonna feel bad. I'm gonna be like, you remember me buying you this? You remember me buying this, that, and the other? Like, fuck out of here, man.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I had to get to the point where, like, you know what? Even though I need to sometimes purposely still just say no, because, like, I want to teach him that, like, hey, there's times when you just don't,
And I do that too, because I say yes. I say yes almost all the time.
Exactly.
So sometimes I say no just because I'm like, man, I tell them yeah all the time. So this time I'm gonna say no just because they can't be expecting a yes every fucking time.
Yeah, because the world gonna tell them no so much to where, like, if they just only used to hearing no from, like hearing yes from you, and then they'll get into the world and they start hearing a bunch of no's, then they just like, what the hell? Like, that's
and it always shocks them, because I can tell by the look, like, on my daughter's face when I say no, because they be like, what? He said no. He said,
yeah.
just knew I wasn't gonna say that. No, it's a no, and they also know me when I, whatever it is, that's what it is. I'm not wishy-washy on the shit. If I said
Yeah.
no, that's what it is. Don't ask me no more about it. It's over.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's over. We're not having this conversation no more. Because if we do, I'm finna be mad. I already told you no. We're not having this conversation no more. If it's gonna be ugly now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's gonna be ugly now.
And we will provide
Let me play this.
you privately with a personal trainer, and we will set up a photo shoot in which you are wearing
my
a bikini that
days.
is too small for you. Like, this is all it was
Right.
shamelessly and explicitly said, like very like as if like it's very normal, like this is the system, this is what we do, where we put you in clothes or a bikini that's too small and we want you to be eating some sort of junk food. Then they would like eventually show my progress later, you know, like all dressed up, hair done, ready for the photo, in flattering clothes that fit me well. So once I knew, something like triggered me. I was about 26 years old and I was like, oh my God, as a child, I used to see these photographs all the time and I believed this was real. This industry is even darker than I could have ever imagined. And I have been part of, and I've been perpetuating a scam. I started getting offers from diet companies who are reaching out to me on social media saying, like, we will pay you a shit ton of money, like 5 figures, 6 figures, to promote our weight loss products, and we will provide you privately with a personal trainer, and we will set up a photo shoot in which you are wearing a bikini that is too small for you. Like, this is all it was shamelessly and explicitly said, like very like as if like it's very normal, like this is the system, this is what we do, where we put you in clothes or a bikini that's too small and we want you to be eating some sort of junk food. Then they would like eventually show my progress.
Do you get what she's saying? This is so horrible, especially for the young girls, you know? And I'm sure you see it all the time because I see it all the time. The little clips where they show like the before and after pictures, and it's like they're promoting some kind of diet or some kind of whatever.
Bro, I mean that's happening on every angle you can look from. Little girls, little boys, teenagers, boy, male, female, grown-ups, you know, like they got stuff that's good for people in their 20s, the 30s. Like you see, like they have you know, these certain things that work better for people. Like they're targeting people of different age groups the whole time. So like, bro, like this is
But they think it's real. Like, you know, I see it and I'm like, that's bullshit. And I be telling my daughter, this is fake. But it don't matter how many times I scream that it's fake. It's they seeing these ads, they're seeing this shit over and over again, and it looks real, it looks authentic, and it comes from a like, you know,
man, you know how many times I got jacked through this whole like idea, like I mean, because you know the weight, like especially like the weight loss stuff, but like the even the scams of, you know, you're gonna like do great in this business with very little effort, and you know, some bull crap that is never gonna be true, because like anything worth having, you're gonna work for it.
Exactly. You can't make the business without putting in the work, and you can't lose the weight without you to put in the work. And they tell you that you don't have to do nothing. Just put on this waist trainer for 30 days or whatever the hell they tell you.
Use this cream, take these pills, and they're gonna like and
you could just keep eating however you want to.
Yeah, you don't have to change
exercise.
Anything. Yeah, you don't have to do anything different. You can, you know, but you'll be sexy, and the women won't you know, be able to not ignore you or whatever. Like it's
bullshit. But for us, we're older, Pat. That's one of the things I think you don't really get. We've been sold bullshit forever, so we just like after a while, like we talked about it briefly in another show, but how like, you know, they say the bullshit and we automatically know it's a scam, and then it's like, hey, that's a scam, and they're like, oh, it looks kind of legit, and like, hey, that's I'm telling you right now, that's a scam.
Yeah, and you probably won't come back and admit it, and that's fine. But just, you know, I'm telling you right here, right now, that's not it.
That's a scam. It's not gonna work. They're ripping you off. They just want your money. And
Yeah.
you know, but for the kids, it's really more the younger people. It's really difficult for them to see it.
Well, cause see, I mean, and yeah, we've gotten used to all of the propaganda, all the things that they're trying to sell each one of us. Cause I mean, I know like us specifically, we've, had these conversations. So, like the targeting, the programming, like we had a whole, like we might have had like a series of shows that talked about how the commercials and how they're selling people, locking people in, and people just are really hypnotized, and they don't even have a chance, a lot of people, because unless you're already understanding of what's happening, you don't really know that you need to be protecting yourself from it.
And they
You know what I'm
think it's
saying?
real. It looks really real. Like she said in this video, she said they put them on with bikinis and stuff that are too small for them, and they make them poke their stomach out, and you know what I mean, look
Yeah.
more fatter than they are, no makeup and bad hair and shit. And then later on they put them on clothes that actually fit them, they do their makeup and shit, they automatically gonna look better from one picture to the
Yeah.
other. But the
Yeah.
kid is not gonna, the kid is like, oh, she looks so much better, so she just did that weight trainer and that made her look like that. Like,
Yeah,
shit,
I
let me get
mean
that.
the fat pictures is just like yeah, no makeup or very minimal, but then when they got the smaller one, because you can take pictures the same day and have a different look, because I mean they can Photoshop a lot of that.
That too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you can look like 10 pounds heavier, 20 pounds heavier, and they'll say that was like last week or, whatever, 2 weeks ago.
It was the
This
same
within
day.
within the last 30 days, this is her transformation. Because for whatever, like they do target women more so for that, like on the weight loss. But of course, they got the dudes with the big muscles and guys like, oh my God, yeah, I want to be big like that, and like, nah, okay, no, you really don't. But just trying to find the balance of health is like a struggle everybody has, because we've been lied to our entire lives about what health is, what makes you healthy, what this, that, and the third. Like
It's crazy. Let me
yeah.
read the caption. It says, I was perpetuating a scam. Actress and activist Shamila Jamil has revealed some of her shocking realities of the diet industry, as well as her experience with anorexia and the modeling industry. It says, speaking to Shantae J on our new pop culture podcast, Jamila Jamil talks about why the term heroin chick is so dangerous and asks why women's bodies are always under scrutiny.
Do you remember at one time, like I don't know if this was the mid, I guess I'm gonna just say the 80s, that there was always something going on with what you call it, the bulimia. These girls uh throwing up and they like these super skin, like they're over, like anorexic
It's
type.
still a big issue. It's still a big issue in Hollywood and in the modeling industry.
Yeah.
The women who do like
and
the
and
sports,
and
like the
and in the schools and in the high schools, you know
and
what
in
I'm
the schools,
saying? Like,
because they're following these women who are, actors, or the ones who do the pageants, and the ones who do like the like I say, the freaking sports, the cheerleaders, you know, all of that shit. So yeah, the girls are looking up to these girls, and these girls are doing this, and they may even tell them, hey, I eat something and then I just throw it up, and that's how I keep my freaking, keep from gaining weight. And the worst part of that is that it works. It's so unhealthy for you, but they know it's unhealthy for them, but they just don't want to, be fat, or what people consider fat,
yeah,
quotation marks.
yeah.
you know, in their
I mean,
mind.
because that's the whole thing. Like, I mean, bro, there's people who look great but are unhealthy. I mean, it's healthy and it's not a look. For the most
Exactly.
part,
And I was telling my daughter that because like you could be small and skinny but if you're not working out, you're not healthy. You need to everyone needs exercise. It doesn't matter how big or small you are. Everybody needs
or
it.
how old.
Yeah. None of that matters. We all need it. And if you're healthy, then you move around a lot. If you don't move around a lot, you're not healthy. And it doesn't matter how big or small you are. We all need to move around more. I want to
You gonna
play
drink this or not?
I want to play this. Have you heard about the flack that Jerry Jones is getting? Because it's a picture that showed up, and he was in the picture, and this was a group of kids who were heckling other kids for going to school. Like, these were black kids or whatever, and it's like no integration type shit. And Jerry Jones was in the picture, and so he's catching flack about that. Have you heard about that?
No.
Well, this is him talking about it. Let me play it.
I had no idea when I walked up there what we were doing, and it just is a reminder to me of how to improve and do things the right way.
Good.
So what did you think of the crowd these kids were just trying to go to school? There was a whole lot of people, there was a lot of hostility towards us.
Yeah, you want to ask me what I was thinking? Okay, I was thinking about I'm going to get in trouble for being up here, and I didn't know what was going on, and I was 15 years old. And so having said that, that's all that I can remember.
Okay. Jerry, you did thoughts on the Washington Post article and how the picture they painted of you from a picture when you were 14 years old.
Yeah, that was, 65 years ago, and a curious kid. I didn't know at the time the monumental event really that was going on, and I'm sure glad that we're a long way from that. I am, and we just that would remind me just continue to do everything we can to not have those kinds of things happen.
Any regrets just being in the photo, being there at all?
What?
Any regrets on being in the photo, being there at all?
Well, I wouldn't have just dug that up for sure.
Right.
I mean, seriously, but that was curiously, I got criticized because I was more interested in how I was going to be punished by my coaches and everybody for being out front. But nobody there had any idea, frankly, what was going to take place. You didn't. We didn't have all the last 70 years of reference and all the things that were going, and so you didn't have a reference point there. Still, I've got a habit of sticking this nose in the right place at the wrong time.
Did you get in trouble with your coach for being there?
I sure did.
What was the punishment?
Well, I was a young sophomore trying to make the team, and they kicked my ass.
Jerry, it came after the Little Rock situation at Little Rock Central, though, right? That photo and that incident.
Excuse me?
That incident came after the situation in Little Rock Central.
Well, that was North Little Rock,
Right.
which was literally just 2 or 3 miles away.
Was it the same day as Little Rock Central that it came
As I recall, it was certainly in proximity with it. Those were certainly the issues that were going on, but did not have the structure or it was not the event that the central thing was.
Jerry, do you understand the perception that people have of you standing there? Because that was not exactly a welcoming committee that day.
Yeah, I sure do. And I understand that. I've just understand it. Yes.
So for the people that look at that and say you were a part of that, and you're saying you were curious, and other people are saying, well, this was a crowd, basically,
Look, that was 65 years ago. And I had no idea when I walked up there what we were doing. And it just is a reminder to me of how to improve and do things the right way.
So what did you think of the crowd who these kids are just trying to go to school? There's a whole lot of people, there's a lot of hostility towards those kids.
Yeah, you want to ask me what I was thinking? Okay, I was thinking.
Yeah, I think he's telling the truth when he said that, no one knew what the significance was of that event or that moment or whatever. I'm sure he's telling the truth with that. But the part where he said we didn't know what we were doing over there, I think he's fucking full of shit with that part. They knew what the fuck. They came over there to give them kids a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I guess there's maybe some judgment you could make on him, but I mean, especially somebody. He said he was a sophomore. Was he a sophomore in high school or this was
He's
high school?
14, 15, so he had to be in high school.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a kid who he's a child that was influenced by people who were, a product of their surroundings, and I mean, I mean, I think some of these people need to be caught, checked on it, but as far as like really trying to, harm them because of something that happened, he said 65 years ago. So I mean, dang.
I'm not giving him a pass on that. 15, 16 years old, your ass know what the hell your ass is doing. Like, okay, like as far as this, like you may not know what's going on in the world, but this dude knew what was going on as far as giving those other kids a hard time. So, and if I was a white kid at this time, and it was some black kids going to the school, and they were like, hey, we want to go over here and give them a hard time about freaking going to school because we don't want these black kids at our white school. I would not be involved in that. So I think that this is a show of his character. Okay, he was 15 and 16 years old. I'm okay with that. I give him a pass as far as he was young, but this shows his character. You know what I'm saying? And we know that the freaking
now,
NFL,
even still to this day,
yes,
up to this day.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, because if 15, 16-year-old, my daughter is out there at a rally that's cussing out some other kids who was another race or whatever the hell it was, I'm going to be on her ass and I'm going to be like, what the fuck are you doing?
So you think,
know
because I mean,
better.
the statement that he made is like, at that time we didn't have all the knowledge that we have of experiences throughout the last 70 years.
That's
to tell us that,
he didn't understand the significance of the moment. I give him that. But
well, I mean, so that's the whole point. Like, and you got to think, like, I mean, your kids right now think the way they do mostly because of what you taught them.
Yeah, well, exactly. So what was his parents teaching him? If they was okay with him going to some rally over here or whatever.
I don't think it's hard to understand, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. I mean, to try to say that this man, like I said, come on, like I don't believe in racism or anything like that either, but you got to also think that like this dude, I mean, 65 years ago, like not even my mama is the same person. She was, what I'm saying, thought the same way or whatever from 60 years ago or 50 years ago, because he's, I'm sure, a little bit older. But, bro.
Yeah, I'm not giving him a pass. I'm sorry. I think it's a character issue. And look at the NBA, look at the NFL anyways. Look at the NFL. It's a damn plantation. How many owners are not white in the NFL? You know what I'm saying? And remember when the Colin Kaepernick thing happened and all the shit? Jerry Jones was freaking cheerleader on this stuff. And freaking what did he do? He had all of them come out together and they all kneeled together. Like, these my niggas. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. I know better.
I know he thought all this stuff was cute and this, that, and the other. And I'm not taking away from what, I mean, we know a lot of things, but at the same time, we all play into it and we try to get upset about it when, when we choose. Because, I mean, these people, they sign contracts. A bunch of them are making hundreds of thousands. you know, at the least, and then you know, on into the multi-millions. So like they have chosen to take like if that's the slave ship that they want to ride, then you know that's what it is. He's in a position to be able to monopolize or make his monies from this business that everybody that's there has agreed on. I mean, my thing is like you know, he's most likely not that same person. You know, yes, you check him and see where his head at, because I mean, just so we can know. But to try to harm the man because you know what happened.
I'm not trying to harm him. I'm just saying this is a reflection of your character, and that's the reason why they're asking him all of these questions too. Because it's like, bro, what was the hell was you doing over there? You know, what was you doing? And he's like, he's making all these damn excuses and shit, talking about I was 15. Man, do you remember when you was 15? Would you have went to a fucking, I don't know, a Klan rally or a fucking, I don't know, kill white people rally or keep people from going to school rally? Would you have done that?
No, but that's because of the way I was raised. See, I think you're missing it because you know how you was raised and how most people around you was raised.
That don't give them a pass.
And the time in which that is happening.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of changes that you know might still be here, but there's a lot of changes that has happened.
Yeah, they was lynching niggas left and right back then. Fucking Jim Crow was still going on. His parents was probably lynching niggas. And he was okay with that.
Maybe. I mean, you know, you kind of.
I'm reaching. I'm reaching.
Okay, you're just throwing stuff out there, which you know, I don't think like you know.
Maybe that's not fair. Maybe his parents wasn't lynching people or whatever. But you know, I don't know that. I really don't. You know, but all I'm saying is this is a character issue right here. This shows shows.
But see, that's my thing. I think maybe, and you know, my statement still stands, but it's just like, okay, yeah, these people need to be checked on it. I mean, like they do this stuff, checking people on blackface. I think, yeah, this is just like this is serious. Like, I mean, you know, there's a certain thing that has been happening here for many decades, and like these people have been living amongst us as whatever they've been accepted for whatever their deeds were, and that you know we know of what we're living through. We're going back 65 70 years on something that like
I don't feel like there should be any punishment to him really, you know.
Yeah.
But other than the fact that you could see him, because he didn't have to go to that rally, so boom, that's a strike, bro. You went to the rally.
Maybe he did. Maybe that was his school that he was going to, and that's his parents. Because see, that's the thing. Like
he didn't have to be there.
A lot of children are, you know, they are who they are because of who their parents are. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
I don't give him a pass.
Yes, it does to some extent, because like that's what I'm saying. Like if you know. You were the type of, I mean, what would you expect from your child? Your child will be a sucker if you believe in something and you know, he's like, you know, your kid like, no mom, no dad.
I don't agree with that. I feel like my children, I tell them all the time, like I don't want them to necessarily agree with me on everything. I want them to have their own ass mind. So if they don't agree with this shit, then be like, Dad, I think this is kind of foul right here. You know, being that I'm the parent, it's probably still gonna go whatever the hell way I want it to go at the end of the day. So I can say that.
Exactly.
But he didn't have to. He went to the rally.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
He went there.
No. You right.
He didn't have to go.
You right. I'm just gonna end it. You right. I mean,
he didn't have to go. He chose to go. And 15, 16, they call those are adults in a lot of countries around the world.
That's his community that he's living in, that he doesn't want to be ostracized out of.
And I get
because
that.
He, you know what I'm saying? Totally. Like he's doing what everybody else around there is doing.
And that's
at the moment.
Don't give it a pass. I agree with you because I get that. It's a lot of pressure.
But it's not because see, it's not giving a pass. it's just recognizing the truths of what we were dealing with at a different time, and to try to judge. I mean, the same, like we can't be the same thing like they doing to what our people, like what they've done to Bill Cosby, what they've done to Michael Jack. Like, we're gonna turn around and do the exact same thing, and never be, like, because I mean, I know that most cases we have to be the moral or somewhat more authority. It's like, okay, but this is how you handle things, instead of trying to gather up the same kind of negative energy that we beg for when things are happening to us. You know what I'm saying?
I never went to no shit like that. And then when I was 16 years old, 15 years
Me
old,
either.
I
I
wouldn't
never.
have went. I would have
Okay.
been like, that's fucked up. I'm not fucking involving myself in that shit. That's what I would have done. So
I
that's
hear
his
you.
character. His character is, I'm okay with being in this group with these people who are heckling these people, talking about I was lost or whatever he had. I didn't know what was going on.
When I didn't
He
know
had to
who
know
I
what was going
was.
on.
No, at that time he knew what was happening, but the effects are even understanding that, okay, you know what, I can, like, people weren't thinking that, okay, I can change the world by being this, what I'm saying, me checking everybody in my, like, look, bro, it was a get along, what is, how Kwame Brown said, like, this is not a new thing. Like, a lot of people are doing what the people around them are doing, just so that they're not considered uncool, or this, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, Clarence Thomas making decisions down there based on law, and people talk shit about him all the time. Like, it don't have, like, the rule of law, and me and my opinion on how things should be shouldn't be, thrown up in there. Like, based on the case, whatever it is, his decisions. Like, now he got to be a coon because he's actually the understands what law is against people who never studied it.
Well, I'm not a big fan of Clarence Thomas,
I
and you
know.
can use the law in whatever way you want to use it. And like sometimes what he comes down with is good, and sometimes it's absolutely not, and totally has a bias related to his own personal whatever.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff is based on certain people's ideals of what politics is supposed to be. There's some feeling, instead of actually reading, okay, if the law is wrong, all right, let's focus on that. But based on what the law, I have determined the law to be, on all the books that I've read, and this, that, and the other, that this is what's supposed to happen in this case.
Yeah, but that's an interpretation. So the law has to be interpreted. The
sure
Congress
does.
people write it. They write it, and then the courts interpret it. So depending on the judge, they can interpret it in which way they see
So,
fit.
but see, and that's the thing. If he identified as being liberal, but still had his conservative idea, on, like, let's just say he, you know, determined law by a certain way, but he was, but because he actually, he's using whatever determination he's got, like, people would now would y'all still be upset with him, being that he was even still a liberal, or is they more upset with him being, more of a conservative or a Republican or whatever?
I don't think, because see, the judges aren't supposed to be Republican or Democrat. They're not supposed to be left or right. Like you said, they're supposed to.
But the party who chooses them is, so, I mean, for whatever reason that they do lean the way they do, is usually because of the the ideas that they take serious, or what's they feel
What drives them? What's their philosophy? The way they,
yeah.
So yeah, and then they also have a loyalty to the party that anointed them to a certain
Well,
extent.
it
But a
doesn't
lot of
even have to be that. I mean, because they already favor a certain ideas already.
right.
That's why.
That's the reason why they picked them.
So it don't have to be from looking at it from that angle, that, oh, well, I just got to be honoring, to these group of people, because no, like, the whole thing, and that's the biggest problem with American politics, period, because it happens on both sides of the fence, and down the middle, and all around the outside of the circle of our politics, because regardless, like, that's how most people operate. they have some favoritism or this, that, and the other instead of just doing their fucking job.
Yeah, that's a problem. Let me read some comments underneath the video. J Mac posted this from the morning show. His comment, he says he was just curious. He was just a curious kid. Another comment, it says he lying through his teeth. Another comment, it says that gosh, let me know he missed the good old days when racism was fun.
Oh damn.
Another comment, it says so he knew he would be in trouble if he went, but still had to be there. He basically said that he
No.
didn't know the way history would play out.
Well, see, and see, those are statements that he's able to say now, like and I don't think he would like. I don't think anybody foresaw saw that. Like a lot of the changes that we see now, based on where they were, like if it wasn't for the civil rights era and for all these different things that happened after that, what we experience today would be totally different. You know what I'm saying? Being black people being trying to be upset for this, that, or the third, like your concerns will be totally different now than they are. So it's like, okay, look, y'all changed history, y'all changed the way things were, and it's supposed to be for the better. Then okay, you're supposed to accept that the change has happened instead of trying to go back. Hey, well, but you remember this is what you was, and like, yeah, but I changed, motherfucker. Like I did what y'all said I should do.
I don't
And
know if I could say that for this guy. I'm sorry.
I hear you.
Shit, he's a freaking boss of a plantation right now today.
All right, well, right now, I guess it's time for us to continue digging and seeing what other kind of tapes we can pull up from the 80s and all the time that he was supposed to have been making these changes, you know, see what we can pull up. What was he doing, when he was in his 40s, 35, 40?
I bet you we could find some shit. I bet you we could.
That's what I'm saying. I said that's. I guess maybe that's where we should go with it. Because if we're gonna tear him down, let's do it. Look. If that's what we're doing,
Absolutely more shits. Cause people are probably just because you said that, not just because you said that, but you ain't the only one thinking that way. I'm sure there's people digging right now.
yeah, I was just saying. No, I mean, yeah, they ain't gonna do it because of me. But if we're gonna do the damn thing, let's go hard. Look, go all the way in. And you know what? Let's take him to court.
See if they can
Regardless
some
if
more
he's
shit.
90, if he's 90
And they
years
can't
old
do
or
nothing
not.
to him. They'll be like,
No.
"Oh, you got to sell the team."
No,
Dallas is the
if
most
it's
profitable team in the league. They're the
it,
They're the
it
richest
don't matter.
team in the league.
I don't care. I don't care
They're
about
the
that.
most successful team in the league.
Okay, great. That's you know what? That's good for them. Look, I'm happy for them. But if we're gonna have that, if we're gonna do it, let's make sure that any crimes that he potentially did, or the women that he might have took advantage of, and this, that, and let's get all of that info and pull it up and put them in court the same way they've done our people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I was at work today, and the TV, it was on the TV, so I caught some clips of it. Dallas won today, and they were playing against a really strong team. They beat the shit out of them. Let me read some more comments underneath it. It says, what reference did he need? Not only was alive and well enough to witness for himself the civil rights movement, but he participated in it. Another comment, it says, we ain't stupid, Jerry. We were just punishing your players for protesting police brutality, but you got to protest desegregation freely. Not necessarily freely. He said that he got beat up for going there. He said he got in trouble.
yeah, a lot of things didn't go the way they expected even back then. See, that's the whole thing. Like, that's a lot. Like, we've become such victims that a lot of times, like, we don't even realize how much we won. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the part that I think that we should try to live on instead of this whole stuff that they put in our mind. Because I mean, revolts have happened around this country, shit, since the things that they keep quiet about because they don't want people to know. Oh, this is the lineage that you come from. This is what they did this time. Is it? Oh, that's how we got to where we, had some real freedom. All right, well, we need to kick y'all ass some more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what. But bro, I mean, they was getting their ass whooped. I mean, they probably whoop a few asses, but I think that's probably where a lot of the anger from the lynchings happened because we was too good at kicking ass to where when they do get a up, that's how they go extreme.
Let me read another comment. It says, a simple "I regret being there" would have been nice, but I get it loud and clear. He's not sorry. He didn't say "I regret being there." He basically said, "I regret it coming up and y'all talking about it."
Yeah, I mean, the dude being honest, like, okay, look, I still have some prejudices. I am somewhat racist, and you know what, this stuff, like, I really wish that things would have gone differently because you know what, I like I'd rather y'all, that's not the side y'all have chosen to see of me, but
Yeah,
I was an asshole then. I'm an asshole now, but
I've never
at
been
the
a
same.
fan of this guy, so it's easy for me to just go there with him.
But either way, I mean, you want him to lie to you? Like that's the
He
one of the
he
things.
is telling the truth in some of this, where he was saying, I didn't know, we didn't know the implications of this, da 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 da. But I think he's lying about some of the stuff. Like he said, I don't know what we was there for. No way he didn't know what it was there for. They all
Well,
got
yeah, I
together
mean,
and said, these niggas is coming to our school. Let's go over there and freaking give them a damn hard time. They had the conversation. He had to know what the hell they was doing. And he's
yeah.
16.
I
That's
mean,
old enough.
I
That's a high
I I,
school student.
I mean, to some people, I might look like the asshole that oh, he just get it, or he just. I don't know. Maybe I don't. That's one of the things I have to keep asking. All right, maybe I'm getting it wrong, but at the same time, I'm just like, okay, when people are who they are, you asking for an apology, but you also don't mind being lied to. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? You accepting certain like the dude say, look, I really just, wish this hadn't come about because I'd rather not even be having this conversation. But I was 15, I was this and that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I appreciate how, like this shows me how much the world actually has grown or changed or whatever. Like, okay, look, he laid it on, he laid it on somewhat thick for what he can accept in his mind.
He
This is the
always stand on his shit. That's one thing I can say about this guy. It ain't no
well,
coincidence that Dallas is such a profitable organization.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, and, my thing is like, don't get butt hurt because he didn't say, "Oh, niggers, like I really do love y'all, and I want to be a part of who, like I really care
Well,
how
think
y'all
about his
feel."
players. Think about his players and his coaches.
Yeah,
They seeing this. What do you
and
think
his
they
play
thinking?
and his players still got like they still use him for what they want to use him for. Like, look, I'm trying to look. I want to play football. I don't want to go get a regular job. I want to play football and make these couple of 100,000 a year, a million, however much I'm making. Like that's what like they've chosen that. Like Kanye told y'all, people. Like it's a choice to be in this bondage, in this slavery.
Let me read this. It says the description clearly says he was a child at the time. Are we seriously going that far back in this man's past to bring it to the present? Black people are quick to point out the racism present in white people, but within our past, has any of us been racist towards someone? Have we committed any wrongdoing? And if a camera were planted in your face asking you about it 65 years ago, what would be your answer? None of us are without sin. I ain't gonna lie, that's a pretty fair comment right there. It's kind of like, glass house or whatever, he who hasn't sinned cast the first stone. And black people like to feel like they not racist, but they can be racist. They want to talk about institutional racism, and I get that argument. We can't be institutionally racist because we don't have the institutions, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we can't be racist. So that's a fair argument. Oh, I can't stay on here too long. I'm gonna try to move through these fast. Let me see. This one, can I go to this? I'll just read it. It says, so your religions have murdered, raped, tortured, abused, coerced, pillaged, persecuted, sacrificed, harassed, rampaged, terrorized, swindled, exploited, endangered, threatened, corrupted, committed genocide, and lied its way around the world to spread its message. But that's who's going to heal. No, but the ones who's going to hell for not believing in this bullshit. It won't let me go to this post because it has some more stuff to that. But basically, they're saying, and the reason why I shared this is because I was having a conversation recently, and it's like people really feel like their particular religion is the right one, and then all the other ones are wrong. And then they're like, the other one is the opposite of us. The other one kills people and all of that. And I'm like, what? You don't know your history of your religion, especially if you're one of these three that they have up here. They have Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. So it's like, you need to know more about the history of your religion. Because the person I was talking to, we were talking about Christianity, and I was like, what about the Crusades? What about the Crusades, buddy? They, what about that? So whatever. I'm gonna move on. I'm sure we're pissing everybody off today. Somebody was watching earlier too, and they jetted up out of here. Oh damn, we lost Pat. Let me play this.
I'm very, very fond of Jerry Jones, and I'm not hiding that from anybody. Is his record perfect? No. But I'm pissed off because he doesn't deserve what just happened. He doesn't deserve it. One report, our report, said he was 14 years old. Another report said he was 15 years old. At minimum, that's 65 years ago. Let me say this. I'm pissed off, but not for reasons that people would think. I'm very, very fond of Jerry Jones, and I'm not hiding that from anybody. Is his record perfect? No. But I'm pissed off because he doesn't deserve what just happened. He doesn't deserve it. One report, our report, said he was 14 years old. Another report said he was 15 years old. At minimum, that's 65 years ago. Let me say this.
Okay, this guy, he kind of redeemed himself a couple weeks ago or a week ago or whatever when he was talking about Kanye West, but there he goes again, back to the boot licking, back to the butt sucking. I love Jerry Jones.
I know I'm not doing that, but I guess that's the same boat that I would be in, because it's like, bro, like some things, like, like, okay, you want it, like I said, if we have if this is something we're trying to do, all right, look, don't be half stepping, go on and go all the way through with it. You know what I'm saying? But it's overall, like,
I love Massa. Why y'all doing that to him? Y'all leave Massa alone.
All the things that, okay, we might be here trying to assume now. Okay, all right, so what's different in your mind than what it was last week or last year?
You can answer it and tell her I'm on the show. I don't know what she wants. She could join the show. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, did somebody expect that he was different? Like,
talking about Stephen A. Smith?
No. Well, you talking about Stephen A. Smith. I'm talking about, with the judgment that he's trying to make on him, I think is similar to what I'm saying, is that he was, I'm saying, okay, y'all been saying that he was a racist dude and he was, trying to be controlling and this, that, and the other. So, all right, y'all expect him to be different now?
Yeah, I don't expect nothing from none of them. And like I said before, I don't even watch I don't even watch none of this stuff. I don't support none of this stuff. I feel like it's a damn plantation, And then you can see Stephen A. Smith. He sound like he on the damn plantation. He's like, hey, they pay my chicks. Shit, I'm not finna say nothing bad about Jerry. I love Jerry Jones.
Bro,
He not racist. It was 65 years ago. Y'all leave him alone.
Dog. I mean, my perception of people like that on TV, yeah, like these are the biggest slaves we got because these are the ones that tell us this is how we supposed to think, this is how we supposed to act, this is what we supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So like, these are the biggest slaves out here. Like these are the most controlled slaves that out there. Shoot, you think these contracts exist for like nothing? And you know it might be high paid, but you know they make an agreement to everybody every day, telling you what to think, not how to think, but what to think. This is what you're supposed to be thinking right now, fool.
This is what you're supposed to say.
Yeah. So I don't expect no different from any of these people. So I guess that's maybe why I look at it the way I do. It's just like, okay, is this a different person than you thought he was last week? You know what I'm saying? Because you got this new information, what is he, you know what I'm saying, now? Is he new? Like, is he a new person to you now? With everything that you've known over the years, that how he's responded to this or that or whatever, all the things that you already knew, I mean, and knowing that he lived through that time, you think he would be any different than what he was? I mean, I think a lot of times the projections, the idea that these people are supposed to be something totally different because of what they see in this person now. Like all of us have learned how to live, within a certain, what I'm saying, like even it comes down to like pretending, lying of, who you really are. Because I mean, in the public, you can't be, I guess 100 with everybody. He gonna get slammed down, and he would have still continued to be like, "Fuck these niggers."
They might make him sell the whole league. So yeah, sell the whole team, because they've done that before. That other guy had to do that, but there's ways around that. You sell it to your freaking wife or some shit.
Yeah,
but
I just don't think that. I mean, for me, I'd be the one that done fooled myself to think that, this is like he was somebody different, because now I saw, like, no, I mean, I think he's exactly who he's always been. And, like somebody making a big deal about something that he's always been is foolish of them.
Yeah. I can't stay on too long tonight because I got to work in the morning, but I want to make sure I cover the Balenciaga thing. I want to cover the Kanye West comments. He's talking about Donald Trump and him being running for president and what Donald Trump said to him. I want to cover the Walmart shooting, and I want to cover this Club Q thing. So I'm going to go into the Club Q thing now. I don't know if you heard about that. Let me play this right here.
That they were Christians. And so assuming that they had not accepted the truth of the gospel of Christ and affirmed Jesus Christ as the Lord of their life, they are now reaping the consequences of having eternal damnation. And that is far, far greater. And we should be having that conversation instead of just the tragedy of what happened to the body. We need to be talking about what happened to the soul and the fact that they are now in eternal separation from our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. 5 people who were killed in the nightclub that night, there is no evidence at all that they were Christians. And so assuming that they had not accepted the truth of the gospel of Christ and affirmed Jesus Christ as the Lord of their life, they are now reaping the consequences of having eternal damnation. And that is far, far greater. And we should be having that conversation instead of just the tragedy of what happened to the body. We need to be talking about what happened to the soul and the fact that they are now in eternal separation from our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
This thing really bothers me a lot, okay? Because the way people are talking about this is really bothering me a lot. A guy at work was like, "Yeah, you heard about the Club Q shooting?" He was like, "Oh yeah, that's hilarious." Like, I didn't say anything, but I'm just thinking to myself, how the hell is that funny? Like, I don't see any humor in it at all. Like, let's say you don't like gay people, you don't like the way they live their life, you know, you don't like what they do, whatever. So, do you want these people to be shot and killed? Like, you want them to die? Is that what you want? Like, is that gonna make you happy? All the gay people get shot and killed. That's gonna make you happy. Like, you're okay with that. Like, that doesn't bother you at all. It's another damn human. And then this lady is talking about Christianity, saying like, okay, well, they didn't accept Jesus in their life, so then that's the reason why they're going to hell, and you know, that's messed up. We lost these souls. They're going to hell. Like, they should have accepted Jesus. So wait, she's making an assumption that if they're gay, they're not Christian. You never met a gay Christian. So like, you know, if they're gay and they accepted Christ, they accept Jesus, you know, as the Lord and personal Savior, would it be okay then? I don't think so. I think it's the whole I hate gay people and I wish they all died type of shit. And this is fucking pissing me off. It bothers me a lot about this particular topic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was a lot of implications there, and you know, you know, I mean, you know, when you have, no matter, you know, if we're gonna make this, since she's somewhat making this a religious thing, it's like the extremes of Christianity is what has the world so messed up. And they talk about Islam or Muslims and things, you know, which some, you know, we talking about a small few people that might act out in the extremist ways, but if you think about it day to day, like just the radical things that sometimes, because I mean, I understand Christianity to some extent, but if you hear like some of the extremists who live within it, because I would say that's not the majority of them either, but like the stuff that this woman is just saying is just like, okay, obviously you don't have a full understanding, because I mean, you know, I believe more in the nature, you know, so I mean, maybe some of me and her beliefs are somewhat the same, but for it to become where it's a funny thing, because I don't think it's funny at all for anyone to.
And I think you're right. I think they don't have a full understanding of their own damn religion. They don't really get it. And so, you know, because if they did, then they wouldn't be saying these things that they say.
At least the ideology that they sell, because I mean, I think that a lot of them do have some hardcore, clear cut, you know, beliefs of what it is, but
and I like what you said about extremists too, because you know, they talk about Muslims all the time, and like the Muslims, like I said earlier, they worship the damn devil or whatever the hell or whatever, you know. But then you're talking about, I'm not saying Muslims worship the devil at all.
Oh,
but what I'm saying is,
do they?
No,
is that supposed to be true? No, I'm just saying.
I don't know where the hell that came from, but.
All right,
but extremists, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about Christian extremists. We're talking about Muslim extremists. Of course, yes, this guy's a Muslim extremist. He sucks. He's not really going by the book at all. He's fucking taking it to a whole nother level, and is really taking his own personal beliefs and making that into, you know, something that's not the religion at all. Because if you were actually following the religion, you can't be an extremist, because you're missing a whole part of the book. The whole
idea is balance. The whole idea is balance.
And you're latching on to some part of it, and you're freaking stressing that part. And it's the same thing with Christianity, like with her talking about Jesus and talking about them going to hell if they didn't accept Jesus in Christ as the Lord and personal Savior. You know, that she's a Christian extremist. I would put her in the boat of that. And that's what we need to realize. Most of the Christians aren't going to be thinking like that. And most of the Muslims aren't going to be thinking like jihad, kill everybody, infidels, da 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 da. That's extreme.
Yes, very much so.
So I think, let me see, does this play the clip of because the guy's dad who did the damn Club Q shooting, he said that, you know, shit, he in a little interview, he seemed like he was more relieved that his son did a shooting rather than being gay. He was concerned about him being gay. He's more concerned about him being gay than he's concerned with him fucking killing people. Let me see. Did I something crazy just happened? Let me see. What the hell?
We also heard from the suspect's father today. Our sister station in San Diego talked to him in person.
Aaron Brink was unloading appliances at his home when crews caught up with him. Now, we know Brink has been in and out of jail. He's worked in pornography all morning. This is how he reacted when he first heard his son was at a gay bar.
Mormons don't do gay. We don't do gay. There's no gays in the Mormon church. We don't do gay. He's pissed off. He's pissed off at me. He wants to poke the old man.
Brink did apologize, saying he has let his son down.
He also condoned the act of killing.
We also
Wait,
heard from his.
there's a much better clip of this. Hold on. I apologize, you guys. I didn't play that. I just searched that up right quick. Let me see. Do I have it in here? Let me check my Instagram, y'all, right quick. I think I have that clip where he talks a little bit more. Oh, fuck. It's not on Instagram. So I'm going to have to look for it. Anyways, while I'm looking for this, what do you think about that so far?
Well, I mean, priorities, that's one thing that I think we must have in line with certain things. And if you're, and especially how you speak along the way, because it's like, you should be like, look, this is not how I raised my son to be killing people. And, for anybody, those who were hurt, my prayers go out to them. Your son, what led to him being that erratic might not be understood, but just you not caring about everybody else that was harmed is, I think, a problem. Maybe because of how this father might handle this whole situation, like his son did not want this to get out because shoot, no, my dad will kill me.
And I ain't gonna lie, it sounds like the dude was in the closet gay, and I think that's what be happening. These people who have really strong homophobic ass views, a lot of times they're gay. They're in the closet gay, and they're fucking jealous of these people who are living their life, living their lifestyle, and they want to live that, but they don't, for whatever reason, it's their religion or whatever. They
I somewhat understand it because it's not right, but like I think because the way that they were taught was that all of those things were perversions, and then for them to be attracted to that lifestyle has to affect them mentally, like that's one of the biggest, like, oh my God, like I can't let people know that this is who I am, this is what I am, this is what I whatever. So yeah, they freak out and they act erratically because well, what people gonna say, and like, bro, like at some point, like whoever you are, whatever it is you do, like it's better to just accept it and live on with it, because otherwise it's going to cause you stress.
You're going to be stressful anyway. You're going to be in hell anyway. You're going to live your life in hell. If the way you really feel about things, you're pushing against it, and you feel like, your religion says you shouldn't do it or whatever. So you're suffering anyway in life. And that's the reason why a lot of them do commit suicide. And maybe that's what this guy was doing. Like, this is, even though he didn't die, he went to jail, but it's kind of like another way of doing suicide. It's like, I can't live the way I want to live, so I'm gonna do this.
And I want to, I just want, like, because I don't necessarily agree. I mean, I agree that people should do what they, whatever they feel, do you. But is that something that, for me? No. But at the same time, people need the freedom to be able to, like, what I'm saying? Like, them worrying about how their parent might take it. If your parent is really that strict about stuff like that, and obviously he's like somewhat, complacent, or just because, I mean, like I said, his mind was, if he's more concerned about, damn, nah, my son is this or that, like, What about these people that just got killed because your son scared of how you gonna treat him if he
So
find
that
out
could
who
be
he
your
is?
fault. You could have caused this whole fucking thing. Them all them people's lives could be on you
Yeah.
because of how you was behaving towards your son, and your son is afraid to come out to you as gay or whatever. Like, I don't know that that's true. I'm just saying that, and because I think that in a lot of cases that's what it is. You know, that they're actually gay and they just freaking afraid to be gay. So then they're super extra homophobic, and even in this guy's case, goes to the extent of killing gay people because they're, you know, because they can't live. They're really jealous. They're really just jealous, and I see it. There's so many examples of this where, you know, people are extra homophobic, and then you find out they're screwing dudes, you know, behind the scenes. They're in the closet.
Well, you know, I think I know what you say, what you're trying to say, but I don't necessarily think it's jealousy. I think it's shame.
Shame. That's another way. That's another way of saying it. I talked about freaking Pence. This is the last video I made that actually got some damn views. And it's like I didn't explain it that much, but it's like, you know, Pence, when he was younger, he got sent to one of those camps where they take the gay out of you, if you will. So it's like you're gay and your family is Christian or whatever. They send you to this camp to take the gay out of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then and really the biggest problem about that is they taking them out of regular society and putting them with mostly around a bunch of boys.
Well, it's just brainwashing and making them feel some kind of way, and it's like you're going to hell. So it's like Pence went through that when he was younger, and he's a very super extremely religious person now, you know. And I think that this guy is still in the damn. That's what I was saying in the other video. It's a lot of clips on this. It's a lot of people talk about this on the internet. That this guy is really just still in the closet, and he's just like suppressing that, you know. And that's the reason why he goes into this super ultra extreme religious, so that's like what protects him or whatever, or keeps him from, you know, doing what he really wants to do, you know. Yeah, hey, if you gay, you gay, just do what you do, you know, make you happy, you know. So but then you are dysfunctional, you are mentally fucked when you are like trying to pretend that you are something not, and all your relationships are going to be corrupted. They're all going to be like dysfunctional. They're all going to be toxic. And I think that's the case with Pence. I really do. I think this guy, he's an in the closet gay guy, but he does the evangelical thing, extreme evangelicalist, to cover for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you, man. I was talking with one of my cousin's girlfriend was telling me about what happened to her cousin out in, you know, out in our, you know, I guess you could say in our parish. And it was, you know, it's really sad, bro, because, you know, there's two gay guys, they fighting, and they supposed to be making up. The dude have them to come to their hometown, or I guess wherever he lives, and they supposed to make up. And he got like 3 or 4 people to beat him up while he finds his gun and kills him with his own gun.
And that's what I'm saying. So if you're unhealthy mentally, because if you're there's nothing you could do about it. If you're sexually attracted to whatever you're sexually attracted to, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So, but if you suppress it, then it's gonna turn into a toxic you're gonna be a toxic person, and you're gonna find something to fill that. And a lot of people feel it with the religion, and they just like, oh, I'm gonna just go pray. Every time they feel, you know, those urges or whatever, I'm gonna go pray or whatever. And you know, prayer, I'm not saying nothing bad about prayer. What I'm saying is that, you know, you're still gonna, after you finish that prayer, you're still gonna be fucking hurting as a result of not doing what actually you want to do, what makes you happy, or what, and I don't care, bro. Like, I really don't have it's so retarded. Like, gay people have gone back to the beginning of everything. And I was playing that video about the animals. You got gay animals. You know what I'm saying? It's not just people. So, like,
That's rare. But look, based on the conversation we were having, like, look, people don't need to lose their lives because you have not accepted. You're not real with yourself enough to just accept who you are. That's really what I think it really boils down to. If you know what I'm saying, if you're a horrible football player or whatever it is in life, if you not recognizing what's real in front of you, and sometimes you just have to, I think you just need to accept who you are more than anything, because even I think a lot of times the energy that we use to try to combat something, if we really was trying to change it, like you act in a totally different way than you are with pretending something didn't happen. Like, it's like actually dealing with
you're
the specific
suffering,
problem.
you're punishing yourself.
Yeah.
God wants you to be happy. God wants you to be who you are. It's all about the life that you live, and the connections that you have with other people, and these people saying, oh, they're going to hell. You are in hell right now because you're so worried about what the hell everybody else is doing. What do you care what they're doing in their fucking, it doesn't affect you. What do you care what they're doing in their fucking bedroom at night? Why do you care about that? Why is that keeping you up at night? Now, you're the one not sleeping because you worried about what the hell somebody doing in their bed. It's so ridiculous.
Well, because see, my thing is, I think in everyday life, because for me, I somewhat have, like some issues with that community, but only the people, because I don't even think it's the majority, because most of them are just living their life. But for the ones that wants to, indoctrinate children, which, like, I don't think there's ever been a problem with they're having gay people in the world. Like, I mean, if they're gay, they're gonna be gay. If they're not, then, like, there's no reason to even try to promote it.
And so the Club Q shooter's dad, he's a porn star and he's a Mormon. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
shut the hell.
they were on one fight at
Please
the
stop.
gay bar.
Yeah, right.
And so I was like, oh my God, he's gay. I was scared. Oh my God, shit, is he gay? And he's not gay. So it's like this.
Who you just saw there is Aaron Brink. He's the biological father of the Club Q shooter, Anderson Lee Aldrich. And that is his father's reaction to finding out that he is a mass shooter. I'm going to get to the full clip here, and this may be the most insane interview I have ever witnessed while covering news and politics. And I'm going to get to even more details here that, I mean, this story gets even weirder if you can imagine it. But
hey, wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, I would say, let's just say, okay, maybe, what if he's not gay? You know what he still is?
A killer.
He's
murderer.
still you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, that's the whole thing, like, bro.
And then that should go against your religion too. And I know Mormons, and they're a little weird, but for some reason, I kind of attracted to them, bro. Like, in a weird way, we always end up having conversations. I'm very religious, so I freaking sympathize with them. Well, I grew up very religious, so I sympathize with them. So, and I chop it up with them, and actually I agree with them on a lot of shit. Now, it's kind of crazy. If the more you know about Mormons, you're going to be like, oh, it's this guy who, it's really not that old. It's a very young religion, and they basically worship this guy. Anyways, I don't want to knock anybody, but I really freaking, I'm kind of attracted to these people as far as, like, we end up talking and we end up agreeing. It just happens a lot. I've talked to a lot of Mormon people. I met them and I freaking agree with them on a lot of shit they say. But then this guy, like I say, he's a damn porn star and he's a Mormon. Like, how does that fit in your religion, bro?
He's out of bounds too. Like,
that's out of bounds,
bro. Say, man, I mean, a lot of weird fathers are raising weird sons, if they're raising them at all. And I mean, I know I'm somewhat weird, but I ain't necessarily strange. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm
look,
weird, so I fit in with them fucking. I fit in with the Mormons, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like
I'm not just saying
I
with
could chop it
Mormons.
up with them and hang out with
No,
them and everything.
no, but what I'm saying is, my more so the weird, I guess, would be like, okay, like, you know, I have certain way of doing things, but like I said, I don't think that it's strange. Like I'm somewhat weird, but I'm not really strange like that. You know what I'm saying?
I
To
think I'm
where
weird and strange. Go
somebody
ahead.
just, yeah, I mean, you haven't. We're talking about the dude who's a porn star and a Mormon. I guess there's a lot of porn stars that claim to be Christian. There's a lot of porn stars that claim to be whatever that it is
But
that they
Mormon
are.
is an extreme version of Christianity, kind of like it's kind of a sect, and they are like they are extreme. I'm telling you, bro.
No,
They are extreme.
most of them believe the same stuff. It's just certain things that they sell different people to get into their church. That's all the difference really is.
Shit, no, the way they live their life is super conservative. They're a lot like Amish. They're very similar to Amish.
But I mean, honestly, if you're really into your religion, whatever it is, Christianity, Islam or Judaism or whatever it is, if you're really strong in it, you're usually a conservative person. Being liberal is really quite different.
So right. So being a porn star sounds like a liberal.
Yes.
But here is this interview. It is insane.
With the shooting involving multiple people, right? And then I found later on to find it's the gay bar.
Yeah, right. And
I was like, oh my god, he's a gay. I was scared. I was, oh my god, shit, is he gay? And he's not gay. So it's
well, you guys had conversations about that. You were.
Oh yeah,
you
I was adamant.
Yeah, you were adamant that gay is bad.
I'm Mormon. I'm a conservative Republican, and we don't do gay. Gay. We don't do gay.
Yeah.
I can't get answers from the attorneys really, but they're saying that somebody's it's involving a gay bar or some shit. I don't know. I don't know what the heck you did at a gay bar. I don't know what's going on.
Well, he's accused of going on a mass shooting at a gay bar and killing 5 people.
Colorado.
Okay, well, that's shit. If he's accused of doing that, I'm glad he's not gay. I say that, but I'm glad he's not gay.
He finds out his son is a mass shooter, and his first reaction is, well, at least he's not gay.
But he probably is.
He probably is. That's what I'm saying. How the hell, bro? Like you at the gay bar already?
Because see, my thing is, it's like, okay, you exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, maybe some, like I said, I can't make this guy just gonna say he is. I'm saying most likely, just the fact that you're in this area and you're shooting up the club or shooting up people over here, whatever. Like there's more than some road rage that led to this. I'm assuming
more of the story for sure. Like what the hell, bro? You just randomly, like I say, I think it's a jealousy, it's a hate. They really do have a hate for the gay people because they are gay and they can't live that lifestyle and they don't. So like I'm gonna just kill some people because they too free. They get to live. I'm jealous of them.
I guess you're somewhat right. Because I guess jealous just never really rings out a strong message to me as like jealous, but maybe, I guess that element of that could be there. But like I said, I think that because of who they pretend to be all the time, like that being threatened because their identity is that person, even though it's not real, but somebody's outing them, because I think that's a part of I've heard quite a few stories where that's the case. Like they were down low and they wanted to, I guess, continue to be down low. So if somebody challenge them or talk about they're gonna tell everybody who they are, what they really do, then before you know it, this
I
is
gotta take a quick potty break, but I'm gonna play this and be right back.
yeah.
I'm going to get to even more details in the story that, as I said, gets even weirder. But worth mentioning here, his father, as he said, he's a conservative, he's Republican, he's a Mormon, he's also an adult film star. Weird combination, but you do you. But when you raise your child clearly to hate gay people, and as we'll get to even more details about how he's pro-violence, well, what do you expect? This may be, has to be the most insane interview I have ever seen. I just don't. This is his son. His son is the mass shooter, and his reaction is, "Oh my God, is he gay?" I don't understand how someone like this operates. The hatred is so deep-seated. He is so brainwashed. I don't know how to deal with someone like this. It completely nuts, but it helps give context to understand how
two doubles
you can, how someone can create a mass shooter in terms of the parenting, in terms of the upbringing, in terms of a right-wing culture of bigotry. This is what the result is. So more details here. In Brink's interview with CBS 8, he did apologize for Aldrich's alleged actions, saying there's no excuse for going and killing people. If you're killing people, there's something wrong. It's not the answer. At the same time, Brink, a recovering methamphetamine user who once appeared on the reality show Intervention, said he praised Aldrich for violent behavior really early. I told him it works. It is instant, and you'll get immediate results. So, I mean, his father's admitting it. Weirdly,
I think in a lot of these cases, the parents should be held accountable. We was talking about this before. We was talking about a mass shooting. I can't remember which specific one it was. We have so many here in the States. But like the kid got the gun from the parents and went to school and killed up a bunch of people. And I'm just like, I think that if you start holding these damn parents accountable, then maybe they could put forth some effort to stop their kids from doing this fucking shit.
And yeah, I mean, I think that there is some responsibility. Now, I mean, what kind of punishment that would be, or if that's even like, I think that's going to be a per case thing. Like if we're just saying like that's, if somebody's child is has done a mass shooting and it's their gun, doesn't necessarily mean that they gave it to them and said go out there and do it, do this or whatever. I mean, I think that's got to be handled a certain way. It's
a case by case basis, but there was a situation where the parents, they may have gave the kid the gun and all of this shit. They need to be held accountable.
Yeah, most definitely. Because I mean, anybody if you're aiding and abetting, I think like the way that you're rearing them, kind of says a lot, or the lack thereof, allows certain things to, exist. Because I mean, some people are just gonna be like, like it might not, because for some, all right, let's just say, even from my point of view, I don't see it as natural or normal. But I mean, no, I don't see it as natural, but it's definitely become something normal. Like this is something we see regularly. So I mean, can I, totally, stop my son from seeing certain things? No, but I think definitely, having, teaching them, you accept people for who they are, and you be honest with yourself. You do what you think is right. But
let me read
definitely not normalizing just going up killing people because you haven't accepted yourself, or just allow people to be who they are in the world. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think he's in that around that situation and this angry with this group of people if they're not, somehow, Like you know, they got an obsession somehow or another with this group of people.
Let me read a couple more. Let me read some comments. This is underneath Rational National video. It says, I've never seen a clearer example of culpability of parents in shaping violence in our culture. Let me read another one. It says, would you rather have your child not be straight or not be a mass murderer? Imagine how much of a psychopath you would have to be to not immediately choose the latter. I'm telling you. Let me read some more. It says, proud conservative Republican. The DNC should run ads featuring this guy. Voiceover at the end. This is today's Republican Party. Oh,
See,
that's
now
coming.
that
That's coming
that's
from a Republican. He says, I'm a proud conservative Republican.
I hear you, but yeah, well, you know what? I mean, I had to say, I mean, I know there's some people who do have that strong, but I mean, that's not like, don't make it like the most of us is.
I agree with you. I don't think that's the majority of the Republican Party. I agree. I disagree with that. Let me read some more. It says, David, I know you don't like covering this story, but as a gay fella in New York, I just wanted to say that thank you for doing so. Growing up, some of us didn't have any type of news coverage that would discuss issues like the way you do, and it's very refreshing and comforting in moments like this. For us, choosing to be visibly queer is choosing happiness over safety. Thankfully, there were brave people of different backgrounds at the club that subdued this madman before he could inflict the chaos than he already had. I really want to show the pictures. They beat his ass. Let me see if I can find that. They beat the shit out of him. The gay dudes at the club is the ones who subdued this dude before the cops came. They
I heard
beat
that.
his ass.
I heard that, and I still have the same. I just kind of laughed. I was like, "Damn, you got your ass whooped by some girly boys or whatever you want." But saying stereotypically, that's how they're supposed to be the weaker.
Yeah, so like if the dude is acting like whatever, like hold on, here's something. Let me see. I find it funny as hell. He got his ass beat the hell up and handled by them.
The alleged shooter who killed 5 people in a Colorado gay nightclub made his first court appearance today. Police also
Look at
released
his
the
face.
mugshot of 22-year-old Anderson Lee Aldrich, showing the suspects badly. Say he fought the suspect as soon as the shooting started. Aldrich is being held without bail. Prosecutors plan to formally announce charges at the next hearing on December 6th. Aldrich is also facing possible hate crime charges.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC content.
I had one that showed more. They brushed over it on that one. Freaking yeah, man. They beat his ass. They beat the shit out of this dude. He had a gun and shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you can't handle what come with that lifestyle, you can go sit your ass down somewhere.
They beat his ass. I think that's so funny to me. I'm sorry.
Raymond Green Vance's
Because
family
I mean, you know,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, my bad. I wasn't expecting, but no, you know, this
Go ahead.
dude, like, you know, he seems to be one of those afraid to, you know, he wants to because I mean, he probably can't get a girl. Maybe he wanted to get a girl so
Telling
his
you.
daddy can be happy, and he can't, so he, you know, goes alternatives, just whatever he can, you know, get.
It's probably that he can't get a girl. It's more like that he really would rather have a guy. Okay.
Well, I mean, hey, you know, I'm not gonna say that, you know, that's not, but I mean, I think some of these these, weak dudes that don't, you know what I'm saying, me and my son talk about different things. Like he has you know what I'm saying, like he likes girls and he wants to know how to do the approach. So we had to talk. All right, you gonna try this, then. Like I think a lot of kids are not getting that, having that conversation with their dads, because even if they're close to them, live with them, and this, that, and the other, a lot of times, like, they're just so distant from each other, and they live right in the same house. It's just like really, like, I think,
It's sad.
yeah, I mean, at least the compassion of I think you learn a lot of compassion from a father, and that's very vital for every child, whether she's, it's a he or she needs that. I think that's part of what's lacking for some of these people who
And a
have,
lot of these
especially
kids,
these mass shooters, like we talking about. Like, it's not because they have a great relationship at home. You know what
a
I'm
lot of these
saying?
kids don't even have a dad at all.
No, a bunch of them do. Look at this dude. His dad is just there, just as in denial as his son, because they don't know what it means to have a relationship with each other. And like his son going out and doing that would be a bigger disappointment to his father, because they are holding each other accountable for the things that they're doing.
Let me see if I can play some of this. I don't know
To
if it's
save
gonna...
enough money to get his own apartment. They say he was a kind, selfless young adult with his entire life ahead of him. He was at Club Q with his longtime girlfriend and her parents, including her father, Richard Fierro, who did help stop the gunman, but not before Raymond was fatally wounded. Now, Richard and I spoke just before airtime, and I do want to warn you, it is a raw, emotional discussion, and what he describes is as graphic as you might imagine. Major Fierro, so take us back to when the gunman first entered the club. What happened? Because you're quoted in the New York Times as saying you went into combat mode. What instincts kicked in from your tours in Iraq and Afghanistan?
Listen, first of all, I just want to say this is in no way about me. My daughter is grieving the loss of her boyfriend. He was in our lives for 6 years. Raymond was a great young man. He was in his way to do some amazing things. And for me right now, it's about healing. I have 2 friends still in the hospital that were shot. My best friends here in the Springs. My whole Colorado Springs family was there. And so what I think I was doing was protecting my family, which is what I do. And sometimes to a fault. And I do things because I'm fight or flight. I think I tend to go fight a lot more. And I don't know if it's good or not. It doesn't matter. Either way, I went to the ground because as soon as I heard the rounds, I dove down. I pushed over my friend as best I could, and we both hit the ground, me and Chip. I put my back against I tried to stand up and I fell. And then I fell against it's like a bench seating.
I don't really want to hear all the details. I was kind of looking for more about the guy getting beat up who did the shooting, because they freaking mashed his ass. So he's the guy who apparently disarmed him or whatever. So they're calling him a hero or whatever. I don't want to hear all the damn details about it though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not into like trying to relive negative situations.
Yeah. So don't let me forget though, I wanted to cover Kanye. China is really tripping with this damn COVID-19 zero
tolerance.
Yeah, man, they are on people's ass about that shit, and I kind of wanted to cover that, so I don't know.
What?
I think I'm gonna move on from the Club Q thing.
Oh, out of your room? I mean, out of this car.
Let me see.
Hey, hold on a minute, all right?
All right. Let me see. What do I have in here? Oh, this is the Kanye West thing. Do I want to go into that one? Oh, yeah. This is a pastor saying the Colorado shooting was a good thing.
Homos got shot? No, I'm not that at all.
As a matter of fact, I think it's a good thing that they're not here anymore to molest kids. And I'm not condoning anybody to do anything like that. I don't believe it's right to take the law into our own hands. And I've said that so many times. But here's what I won't be upset about. I'm not going to be upset when someone that hates God and actively is promoting against God and hates his guts and molests children, even if it is just their eyeballs, to have to see these freaks writhing around and doing all these crazy dances in front of children, and then afterwards reading them a book or something. I said it's not right to take the law into your own hands, but I do understand why people are so fed up, because our own government is protecting these freaks, and that's all you see on the media right now. Right-wing MAGA kills these queers, and then some guy jumped in and helped them or whatever. Who cares? Like, I really don't care that those people got killed. You're like, that sounds really hateful, Pastor. Well, it is hateful because I do hate them, because they're a menace and a wart on the rear end of society.
Well, the book don't tell you nothing about hating people.
There's nothing redeeming about them whatsoever.
You can't redeem.
Listen, we're in America. We can say whatever we want. And I'm not inciting violence, so don't even try to go there. But anyway, happy Thanksgiving. That club got shut up the other day. Now, am I sad that 5 homos got shot? No, I'm not sad at all. As a matter of fact, I think it's a good thing.
Oh my freaking God. So, and then this guy's conflating like pedophilia with homosexuality. I don't know where he gets the connection between that at. So all gay people like to have sex with kids? Where do you get that from? Like, who says that? Like, where's the evidence for that? Like, there's none. So, like, you are tripping. Like, that's not the same thing at all. Like, not at all. Like, you crazy. You are insane, and you don't really know what the hell you're talking about. And then you're like, oh, yeah, is it because I'm hating? Yes, I'm hating. Yes, you're hating. And where does it say in your book to hate people? Like, this is so wrong on 1,000 levels. The freaking congregation is listening to this guy, and he's like, oh, I'm not inciting violence. But then what the hell is your congregation going to do after they're hearing you saying this? I don't disregard. This is one of the things I'll be saying, and we said it before in the other show recently. It's like when you get into your religion, you start to feel like other people's lives, or some people's lives, are more valuable than others. So, like, if you're a Muslim, then you're like, Muslims are more valuable than people that aren't. If you're a Christian, you feel like Christians are more valuable than people are not. Like, and then it doesn't matter if these people die or get killed or whatever, or get mistreated or abused or whatever. It doesn't matter. They're not following God in your eyes. So then they deserve this persecution or whatever the hell happens to them. Like, and then he's like, this is not inciting violence. Whatever, bro. This is the kind of rhetoric that leads to violence. Like, somebody is listening to this, and then they'll go and do a mass shooting, and then you'll be like, I didn't have nothing to do with that. But hey, this guy was in your congregation. They got radicalized by the words that you said, because they look up to you. You're in a state of authority. Whenever you're an authority figure, as a pastor, you need to be very careful about what you say, because you don't know what people are going to do with the words that you say. Let me read a comment underneath the video. It says, there are a lot of people who think like this, and it's so sad. The majority of the people who molest children look like this individual speaking. I was sexually abused as a child, and each time it was by a heterosexual male.
So that now we're demonizing all heterosexual males.
No, that's not what she's saying. She's rebuttaling what he's saying. He's saying that. Did you hear the clip? Let me play it again, because I don't know if he was here. Let me play this. Did you hear it?
That club got shut up the other day. Now, am I sad that 5 homos got shot? No, I'm not sad at all. As a matter of fact, I think it's a good thing that they're not here anymore to molest kids. And I'm not condoning anybody to do anything like that. I don't believe it's right to take the law into our own hands. And I've said that so many times. But here's what I won't be upset about. I'm not going to be upset when someone that hates God and actively is promoting against God and hates his guts and molests children, even if it is just their eyeballs, to have to see these freaks writhing around and doing all these crazy dances in front of children, and then afterwards reading them a book or something. I said it's not right to take the law into your own hands, but I do understand why people are so fed up, because our own government is protecting these freaks, and that's all you see on the media right now. Right-wing MAGA kills, these queers, and then some guy jumped in and helped them or whatever. Who cares? Like, I really don't care that those people got killed. And you're like, that sounds really hateful, Pastor. Well, it is hateful, because I do hate them, because they're a menace and a wart on the rear end of society. Amen. And there's nothing redeeming about them whatsoever. Listen, we're in America. We can say whatever we want. And I'm not inciting violence, so don't even try to go there. But anyway, happy Thanksgiving. That
because he's saying that because they're gay, they're pedophiles, and that they, are molesting children or whatever. Like, I don't know where you get that from. Like, how does that fit? So this lady is saying that she was molested as a child, and it was by heterosexual men. So that's the thing. He's saying that it's gay people being pedophiles. They're like, where do you get that from?
Yeah, but my whole thing is, okay, this whole idea that's I don't know, it just because I got more context with hearing what he was saying, and why they might have said what they said, but they're still implying that heterosexual males, just because because it's like, because you are one, that you're more likely than someone who's not to commit those crimes.
I don't think that's what she was saying. But
because
there is statistics out there, and how many of the people who pedophilia, touching on kids, how many of them were gay and how many of them were straight? If we pulled up those numbers,
50,
what do you think they would say?
Well, I don't know. I would say that they have some sexual depravity regardless. I mean, I wouldn't leave, because if you're sexually ill, I think that's more of a dynamic than trying to say the reason this person, he was gay or they was or heterosexual, that made them commit this crime. Like, that's just way too.
She's not saying that because they were heterosexual that they made the crime. He's saying that if they're gay, they're pedophiles automatically. That's basically what he's saying.
But
She's not saying that.
But you can't say.
She's saying I was sexually abused and it was a heterosexual male. She's saying from her personal experience.
But that happened to be her. Yeah, okay, that happened to be her experience. But for her to say, okay, all right, well, my idea of what this type of person is this because of what it was for me. But that doesn't mean that both of those dynamics don't exist, whether they were straight or gay, that they committed a crime that
Yeah, I agree with you. It could be, it could go both ways. But I bet you the statistics show that the majority of them are straight. But this guy is saying that gay people are pedophiles. That's what he's saying. That's why she said that.
Well, I think that stigma came about, especially when when we really kind of look at the dynamics of what happened in the Catholic Church all around, at least this country, and the Boy Scouts, a lot of these things that come out, like, these were men that preyed on the same sex, but kids. So I think that's kind of where that that idea comes from, because that's mostly what's we've discussed more. Which we probably should discuss. What's going on?
That's not necessarily the case for all the cases. Like,
no, I know, but that's what
he's basically saying. If you're gay, you're automatically a pedophile. That's what he's saying.
I get it, but that's why I'm trying to make a point. Like that, we make it just as dangerous as this guy if we're gonna try to, still try to say, okay, well, it was because of this type of person that it happened to me. It's like, yes, because that's not the reason why those things are happening. It's because these people are fucking sick,
And I
not
agree with
because of.
that. I agree with that. But she's going from her personal experience. This guy is saying gay
I,
people are pedophiles. She's saying I was
it is.
molested as a child, and it was a
I get,
heterosexual male.
but both of their statements had flaws. And that's what pretty much what I'm pointing out is that we got to be careful. Like we can't just
How
say
can her
like,
statement be a flaw? That's what happened to her. It was a
oh,
heterosexual male
because
who molested her.
because you're missing half of the message. You're hearing half of it, and you're not hearing the end. Like, okay, yes, I look, I feel sorry for her and what happened to her, and even how it might affect her to this day. But what I'm trying to say is, it's dangerous to try to categorize a certain type of person for
I
doing
don't think
something.
she's categorizing. She's rebuttaling
She
what this
did.
guy's.
She
She's
by her making an point.
rebuttaling what this guy said. He's saying that gay people are pedophiles. She's saying I was actually literally. He's not giving no evidence. He's just saying, oh, the gay people are pedophiles. She's saying, from my personal experience, I was done some kind of way, and it was a heterosexual male.
Okay. So I mean, if she was trying to clear up okay, I'm with that. So me and her have the same argument. If she's saying that, oh well, don't try to put it on this group because it happened to me because of this group. It could be either group. That's like really what I'm saying. Like,
And
don't try
that's
to
her
say.
rebuttal. Like what he's saying
Okay,
is not true.
if she's saying the same thing I'm saying, then great for her because it didn't sound quite that way when I heard it. But if that's what she's actually trying to do, great because that's the point that needs to be made. Like stop trying. Like I don't. Neither one of the people are bad. Like I mean, or like in that sense, neither one of those people are good. Whoever's doing it is doing like that's the crime that they're doing. But like that sect trying to say that because either way, if you either person, you're trying to say that if just because you end up in this group, because one of us will have to end up in one of those groups. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's simple. You know what I'm saying? Like we're talking or gays or heterosexual. That's what like so we landed in one of those groups. So now everybody, you know what I'm saying, can be stigmatized as being a pedophile at this point.
Anybody who does it. I mean, it could
What?
be anybody. That's the point.
Oh,
Straight,
all right.
gay,
You're not even
heterosexual
here.
man.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Because you're getting all uptight when I'm saying obviously what you're saying.
Yeah. Let me read this comment.
I
It
mean,
says,
me and you need to clear up some things. Like you upset with me about something?
no.
No,
But
no,
this
I'm
is
being fun.
emotional, though. I ain't gonna lie. Let me read this comment. It says, I was a social worker in child welfare. I worked in CPS unit. All sexual and physical abuse cases. I fucking hate people like this, man. First of all, people that say they care about kids would do research and know that people that abuse children come in all walks of life. They would be out here teaching children to the tools needed to protect themselves. You see, men like this don't give a F about kids. The vast majority of predators are men, and they will abuse boys and girls. Hold on. Less than 10% are women, but they do exist. The majority of abuse happens close to home. Children aren't out here being preyed on by drag queens at the library. Children are being preyed upon by uncles, teachers, coaches, priests, neighbors, and so on. When I lived in Georgia, I hear so many bigoted white Southern Baptists say that a pedophile is gay. It's quite simple. If a man abuses a young boy, he's not gay, he's a pedo. They spew this hateful and dangerous rhetoric, and meanwhile, 1 in 4 kids is being abused right now as I type this message.
Yeah. I mean, I think that what they're saying is true. I mean, like it can go either way. So I mean, I think there's something deeper than just trying to say that it's just, oh well, if you're this, then this is why you're doing this, or that's a dangerous thing. Period. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I guess we can move on to Kanye. Let me see if there's something else here.
we need to pay attention to all of them because, our children need to be protected at all costs. That's what's going to help them have better health, mental health, and being able to deal with certain situations if we're there and we protect them, not allow them to be, do our best to, not bring them into a situation where they can be harmed, whether it's mentally or physically.
Yeah. I want to play this clip. I don't think he talks about the Balenciaga. Did you see the Balenciaga ad? The internet's been buzzing about Balenciaga for a few days now, because Balenciaga did an ad, and it was horrible. I ain't gonna lie, and it had all these pedophilia undertones in it. It was terrible. And,
I did. Okay, I remember seeing something, but then I saw they had the kid there, and they had different things in the background that talked about like a case or something. I don't know, something that was supposed to. But yes, I did hear some of that, and it's insane. I mean, this is something that they this is how they treat the people. You're stupid cattle, and they figure they could easily put that stuff out publicly, and people just not get it. And I guess they don't realize totally, or maybe it was a test to see how far people go, because
how much they can get away with. I think that they've been doing this forever, and they do it all the time, and it's just sometimes they get caught. And it's like, the thing is, the people that know, they know these symbols. They jump out to the people that know what it means. You know what I mean? To the rest of us, it may just look innocent or whatever. It's like, we're not into that stuff, so we just like, whatever. It's just a picture, whatever. It's just an ad. But to the people who freaking are into that thing, it's like speaking to them, speaking volumes to them. Yeah. This clip isn't about the Balenciaga, but I think I have a clip with Kanye talking about the Balenciaga. But this is the one about him going to Trump, about him running for 2024, and how Trump reacted to it and stuff. It's kind of interesting to me. Let me see.
I was most perturbed about me asking him to be my vice president. I think that was lower on the list of things off guard. It was the fact that I walked in with intelligence. So Trump is really impressed with Nick Fuentes. And Nick Fuentes, unlike so many of the lawyers and so many people that he was left with on his 2020 campaign, he's actually a loyalist. When he didn't know what the lawyers is, you'll still have your lawyer list. And when all the lawyers said, forget it, Trump's done, there were loyalists running up in the White House, right? And my question would be, why, when you had the chance, did you not free the January 6ers? And I came to him as someone who loves Trump, and I said, go and get Corey back. Go and get these people that the media tried to cancel and told you to step away from. He basically gives me this would-be mob. I think the thing that Trump was most perturbed, would-be mob-esque kind of story, talking to some kid from the south side of Chicago trying to sound mobby or whatever. He goes into the story about all that he went through to get Alice Johnson out of jail and how he didn't do it for Kim, but he did it for me. But then he goes on to say that Kim is a you can tell her I said that. And I was thinking, that's the mother of my children. Since we know, and all the Christians in America that love Trump know that Trump is a conservative, we're going to demand that you hold all policies directly to the Bible. When Trump started basically screaming at me at the table, telling me I was going to lose, I mean, has that ever worked for anyone in history?
You're going to lose. Tell him he's going to lose.
I'm like, well, hold on, Trump. You're talking to Ye.
Yeah, so this is interesting to me. Kanye and Trump had a meeting, and Kanye is like, "Be my running mate" or whatever. Trump is like, "Man, you ain't gonna win. You have zero chance." And then he insulted his wife.
Okay, so what does he say about his wife? I mean, is it warranted? Like, is it it's true? Was it a lie?
I ain't gonna lie, it was, I ain't gonna say truth or lie, but I'm sure it came from a place with like an educated place. God forgive me. I'm not no fan of, hey, I don't want to judge. I'm not a judge. She does what she does. Kanye does what he do. So hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, and that always has been the case and will continue.
Yeah, so, but it's interesting to me because, Kanye is such a big fan of Trump. And then the idea of Kanye running for president and trying to ask Trump to be his running mate. Kanye's got balls of.
But see, but the thing is, it's like, okay, I think this word fan gets used overly, like too much, because like, okay, just because I like somebody don't mean because a fan is a fanatic, like somebody like there's not you usually have one or two people that you're fans of. Nowadays, like you can be everybody's fan. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, but anyhow, I think that people don't really understand the whole dynamic with Kanye and Trump, because at the time when you're looking at the things that Trump was doing and standing for, and how he was speaking, dealing with the certain things, like things need to be shooken up, and it's a bunch of the things that we've gotten so used to that is a failure, starting to truly show itself as being a failure in our communities, had to be spoken about. So that's more so what I think that was, what Kanye agreed with the whole Trump thing, is that, okay, he's actually, discussing more of the problem, even though a lot of people, are programmed to believe that, that's just normal life. That's how things happen. But I don't know. But I don't think it's like was a true fanatic. Like he just, because I mean, if he was that much of a if he was that much of a fan or fanatic of him, why is he even trying to run against him? Like Trump, the first one to announce that he was going to run for president, and then that's Kanye goes to him after he hears that and say, "Hey, you know what? Why don't you just be my running mate?" So he's making Trump like this is like a good play, like a hard play, if he's really serious about being, running. Because I mean, I don't know, I don't think he really has that good of a shot. Like neither one of them do. But I mean, for entertainment purposes, like shit, why not? Look, there's
Trump has a shot. I don't know if it's gonna be like it was last time, but he has a shot.
Well,
Kanye has zero.
did I say
chance.
he didn't have a shot? I'm saying like it's not a good idea for him to be running. I mean, I think that his chances are more likely to lose than it is to win at this point. So, like, if you can become a super, like, be a advisor to somebody, like, find somebody that's that's things like you, and just kind of help them out. Like I think really we need I mean honestly, like we need real change, not just a new face. Because I mean we saw what that was when we got Obama, what kind of fakeness we got, with the idea of what a change is supposed to look like. But we like looking different and being different is something else.
I want to play a little bit of Rational National.
I think that was like lower on the list of things that caught him off guard.
Apparently on day night, and the news is why that matters, is Kanye West is planning to run for president. More analysis, including how Trump once this story
to be my 2020 Canterbury Sixers. And I came to him and so he goes into the story about all that he went through to get Alice Johnson out of jail and how he didn't do it for Kim, but he did it for me. But then he goes on to say that Kim is a you can tell her I said that. And I was thinking like, that's the mother of my children. Since we know, and all the Christians in America that love Trump know that Trump is a conservative, we're going to demand that you hold all policies directly to the Bible. Basically screaming at me at the table, telling me I was going to lose. I mean, has that ever worked for anyone in history?
You're going to lose. Tell me you're going to lose.
Hold on. I'm talking to Ye.
Right.
You're talking to Ye.
I don't know. I think I really think that, like, okay, Kanye is a much bigger underdog. And, like, you never can say never. I mean, he's if he's running, he has a chance. But based on my limited information, I don't think anybody has a reason to vote for him.
Damn it, I'm pressing too many buttons. I'm freezing up. Did I lose my green screen again? No? Okay. I want to cover a few more things, but I can't stay on much longer. Maybe I'll save some of this for tomorrow. Freaking, let me play this clip. COVID didn't disappear from Africa. Let me play this because I want to go into China because China is really acting an ass about COVID. Can't find the clips. I don't know where they are right now. Well, I'm not sharing.
Well, see, this is why we need to be more careful about this whole globalism thing, because if we become that one world government where somebody like a Chinese damn near dictator can make the rules of what's going to happen for
that's why
everybody.
I wanted to cover it because it's scary what they're doing to them, man. I saw some clips. I really want to. Oh, I think it's on Twitter. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Twitter. I'm gonna play this clip right here, and then I'm gonna go to Twitter because I think it's there.
Here is your African news update. Africa-wide, Africa 7% vaccinated, and COVID has practically disappeared, leaving scientists baffled. Since the start of the pandemic, the continent's capacity to manage COVID-19 cases has come as a shock to many. Almost 2 years after Africa identified its first case of COVID-19, the World Health Organization finds that the continent is on track to completely control the virus. Over the last 2 years, the continent has witnessed 4 waves of COVID-19, each with higher peaks or more total new cases than the previous ones. The surges have been mostly driven by new variants of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which were highly transmissible, though not necessarily more fatal than prior waves. Each subsequent wave has triggered a response that has been more effective than the previous, with each surge shorter by 23% on average from the one before. While the first wave lasted about 29 weeks, the fourth wave was over in 6 weeks, or about a fifth of the time. Over the past 2 years, the African continent has gotten smarter, faster, and better at responding to each new surge in the COVID-19 cases. Despite all the odds faced by the continent, that included huge inequalities in access to vaccination, the continent has weathered the COVID-19 storm with resilience and determination. African governments were seen to have reacted faster than elsewhere to impose travel restrictions and close borders to minimize contagion at the onset of the virus. The continent also enacted social distancing and lockdown measures at an early stage in the epidemiology curve than many other continents. South Africa, for example, introduced an articulated response comprising 8 overlapping stages, including a strict lockdown and major economic mitigation measures amounting to approximately 10% of GDP to assist the affected population. The continent, which has a population of more than 1 billion, has only had 1.5 million cases compared to Europe, Asia, or the Americas. The continent also recorded far fewer casualties as compared to other continents. This data has left many, including scientists and medical professions, baffled due to the fact that Africa is only seen by the West as a hotbed for disease and infections, but this time Africa proved otherwise. As China is planning to lock down Beijing due to the resurgence of new COVID cases, Africa remains largely unaffected, and many experts are left at a loss of words. Thanks for watching.
So it said, let me take it back a little bit. Yeah, scientists baffled. It says scientists baffled by Africa's low COVID with 11% vaccination. So 11% of the people got vaccinated, and
In
COVID
Africa.
is like in Africa, and it's basically non-existent. Like they're handling it like they don't really have a COVID problem, and they only had 11% of the people vaccinated. And it says scientists are baffled. Well, if y'all baffled, y'all should go over there and freaking study what the hell they're doing and do that shit.
Yeah, instead of trying to tell them that, oh, you need to do this and do that and whatever, because that's the approach they usually try to take, is like, even though that they showing signs of better signs than they have shown with their practices, and still want people to just do what you say.
Right. You're like, wait. Can we look and see what Africa is doing? Because you know they going through this a lot better than us, man.
Yep.
Yeah, but they don't. Africans are backwards and uncivilized.
Well,
so
no,
it's just,
but that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize. See, like, you know, us here in America, like, we've really been screwed with a lot of this. You know, them trying to sell us everything.
Yeah.
That we, you know, we're overweight. Like most of us, like the average African is not obese.
Yep. It's the foods we eat. It's the lifestyle that we live. You know, it's the damn pharmaceuticals that we take, and we have to pay for whatever. It's like, you know what? Screw what they're doing in Africa. Just take this pill or take this shot or take this whatever. This will work better than whatever the hell they doing. But wait, these people ain't dying. We dying over here still. Don't worry about all that. Just take this damn medicine right here, and make sure you got to pay for it too. It's not free.
Exactly.
Fuck, man. We're so screwed over here. And so, but China, man, they are going through it. Let me see. I don't know how much of this clip. Let me play this.
If you want to know how they would treat us worldwide, that's it right
你干嘛？我干嘛？你干嘛？你干嘛？你干嘛？我动手了没有？我动手了没有？我动手了没有？我动手了没有？啊！你要干嘛？
I'm gonna take the sound out. What a surreal ass scene. Like, you got these guys, they're dressed in medical gear, and then they got riot gear with it. It's like they're the police, but they're dressed in medical gear, and the people are not having it. They're so sick of this freaking zero COVID policies. And so that's what a surreal scene. You got the police dressed in medical gear and pressing on the people. It's crazy.
I mean, it's a bro. This is exactly what they would be doing to us if we were going into the whole one world government, because this is how they want. Like, they want total control, and that's like country to country, like from continent to continent, country to country. Like they want to be able to, you know, have everybody, like they can appoint who they want.
My bad.
They can appoint whoever they want to cover certain districts of the world, but they all live under one, you know, that one order, and that's really pretty much control everything. Really make everybody slaves again. Like, you know, yes, there'll still be a few rich people, but look, that's one of the reasons why I'm very much conservative, because like we try to buy ourselves into this certain idea of everything is going to just be free. Freedom is not free. And they start talking about handouts and this, that, and the other. They still trying to get it, so, you know, get it back some kind of way. So let's just be smarter about how we deciding on, you know, who we're going to let govern us. Because we can vote ourselves right out of power.
I'm gonna play a little bit more of this and see if I can find another clip related to it. It's crazy. I ain't got that much time.
Bro,
Let me see.
do you remember like a year ago, maybe it might not have been, like, I guess, you know, this was during the pandemic. I remember seeing like they were telling them about curfews, and I'm talking about hitting them with sticks, hitting them
Yeah.
with all, like,
Yeah, there's a clip where they got these people locked up and they stick in their hands. That's the one I'm really looking for, and I cannot freaking find it. And they're sticking their hands out of this, like they're all locked up separately too, and they it's like solitary confinement in prison. And they stick their hands out of this little hole and they spray it with some shit. I really was looking for that. Hold on, but I'm gonna play this.
China.
I'm gonna play this. Am I sharing? Okay, let me play this. I can't find the clip I'm
Is
looking
expanding COVID lockdowns as infections there are on the rise. The move comes as protesters clash with police over pandemic restrictions and pay disputes at Apple's biggest iPhone factory in the world. Some workers are angry about the conditions at the plant, claiming that they're being forced to share dorms with infected coworkers. Here's ABC's Lama Hassan.
Protests breaking out at Foxconn's flagship iPhone plant in Zhengzhou, China, the biggest iPhone factory in the world with 200,000 employees. Showing hundreds of workers clashing with police and houses, setting surveillance cameras, throwing metal barriers and poles at police. Angry because of disputes over a delay in unpaid bonuses and strict quarantine COVID lockdown protocols is in China. Daily cases hitting a record high today since the pandemic began. The plant has been in lockdown for 4 weeks, allowing factory workers to operate in a closed-loop bubble where they live on site to stop the virus from spreading. Some complaining about the conditions, saying they have been forced to dorms with colleagues who contracted COVID. Foxconn calling those claims untrue and releasing a statement apologizing for what it called an input error in the computer system, adding they're doing their best to actively solve the concerns.
Lindsay, this dispute has a domino effect because the factory turns out the majority of the latest generation Apple handsets, including the new iPhone 14 Pro. Now, the company is warning of delays in shipments ahead of the holiday season. Lindsay.
Lama, thank you. Everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube.
I can't find the clip that I really want to play. I'm probably going to come back to it tomorrow because the clip where these guys were sticking their hands out of the freaking thing, that shit was horrible looking. I was like, damn. Can't find it though. I think I want to cover like one more thing and then we have to go because I have to get up in the morning. I want to stay on longer, but I can't. If I do, I'm going to be hurting real bad in the morning. Let me
I
see.
gotta drive tomorrow. I'm heading back to the house.
I wanted to cover what the Israeli, how they were doing the Israeli journalists in Qatar for the World Cup. But I might save that. Let me see if I have something other than that. I don't see the damn China clip. Freak. I didn't have time to organize this. Oh, let's do the Balenciaga. Do I have this? Am I sharing? Let me share this before we go. We could stop here. Because here's a picture of the Balenciaga ad. That's fucked up. I don't know if you saw it. This is a tweet. It says the brand Balenciaga just did an interesting photo shoot for their new products recently, which included a very purposely poorly hidden court document about virtual child porn, normal stuff. So, like, it was a court case, and it just so happened to be one of the files on the damn table. Like, why would they do that? You know, they spend a lot of time on putting this stuff together. Why would they do that? And you know, you got the teddy bear has like fetish thing, and it has like the damn panda. All of this stuff is pedophilia symbology. They're not explaining it in this. Shit, I had a better one. They're just showing the pictures. But I had a clip that really explained this. But they might have blocked it on Instagram. That's probably why I can't pull it up. I don't know where the hell it is. It says, although Shu often makes comments to cause amusement or laughter, this is an authentic Balenciaga marketing photograph. It contains an excerpt from the U.S. Supreme Court opinion in United States versus William, which upheld part of a federal child pornography law. I really kind of thought I had more explanations for this. I can explain this, but I'd rather have the whole thing because I don't want to say this stuff wrong. Get in trouble for saying this shit wrong. Anyways, Balenciaga, man, and they pulled it down. They pulled the ad down because of the black backlash that it got. So they pulled this ad already. Let me see. I bet you I can find something on YouTube right quick before we go. Because that's really what's in the news right now. Oh, shit. This went to Yahoo. I don't want Yahoo. I want YouTube. Because I have to go. YouTube. Give me a second, y'all. I'm sure it'll pop up. Balenciaga ad. It says Balenciaga pulls controversial ad. Oh yeah, freaking what's his name? What's his name from Fox? He did a really good clip on it. That was the one I saw that really drew my attention to this. It was Chris what his name? Tucker. Let's play that because he breaks it down pretty good. Is this the whole clip? It's 11 minutes. I wanted the main part of the clip, but maybe we'll get to it right away. But let's play Chris Tucker.
A stable of so-called conspiracy theories that the highest levels of politics and finance, there is a shadowy cabal of pedophiles who use their power to hide the crimes they commit against children. that people think that. Sounds pretty far out to us, too dark and strange to be true. And of course, we are not obviously endorsing that idea. On the other hand, you can kind of see why people might believe it. Jeffrey Epstein, for example. Epstein continued to dine with business moguls and heads of state long after he was arrested for having sex with minors. How did he do that? Why did nobody say anything? Why did people keep eating with him? Well, at the very least, we can conclude based on the evidence that there is a tolerance for pedophilia among the most powerful in our society, a tolerance that you would not find in, say, your average middle-class American family. Some of the rich really are different that way. That's clearly true. And in case you needed more evidence of that, consider Balenciaga. Balenciaga is what they call a luxury brand. Balenciaga is a company that sells $1,100 sneakers and cotton sweatshirts for $1,500 to people who've literally run out of things to buy. You're probably not doing your back-to-school shopping at Balenciaga, but some people apparently are. So this week, Balenciaga rolled out a new ad campaign on Instagram, and the selling point of the ads was sex with children. One photograph showed a very young girl lying face down on a couch with candles, empty wine glasses, and a dog collar on a coffee table in front of her. Another picture showed the same girl, a toddler, holding a teddy bear dressed in sexual bondage gear, including a leather harness. And then, in case you missed the point, we're for pedophilia at Balenciaga. Another picture made it explicit. That picture showed pages from a Supreme Court opinion that struck down a law designed to fight child pornography. Whoever staged the photo shoot made certain to include a portion of that opinion that used the word sex or sexual 4 times. And of course, that was not an accident. Balenciaga wanted you to notice. So this seemed like a big story to us, as we told you last night. Here you have a major international retail brand promoting kiddie porn and sex with children, and not promoting it subtly, but right out in the open. No healthy society can tolerate that, and in fact, none ever have tolerated it. There's never been a time in American history where pedophilia was considered anything other than the worst thing, the most horrifying crime imaginable. Pedophiles famously get killed in prison because even murderers consider them immoral. That's how out of bounds it is and has always been to sexualize children. It's totally unacceptable. But apparently, it's not unacceptable anymore. Academics have redefined child molesters as minor attracted persons. And the point, of course, is to send the message that actually it's not that big a deal. It's just a different kind of love. So maybe not surprisingly, given that trend, apart from a few isolated exceptions in the American media, almost all outlets completely ignored Balenciaga's kiddie porn ad campaign. There was not a single story about it in the New York Times this morning, or Jeff Bezos' Washington Post, or on CNN or NBC. There was no talk of an investigation or a boycott. The usual outrage merchants stayed completely silent because they weren't outraged. Balenciaga ultimately issued a statement saying it was going to punish the photographer who did the shoot, like it was the photographer's fault, that they didn't know about it. And after that, the story effectively died. And that means that the CEO of Balenciaga, a man called Cedric Charbit, will not become a social pariah for what his company has just done. He will continue, just as Jeffrey Epstein continued, to enjoy his busy social life totally unpenalized with his many fabulous celebrity friends. Here he is, for example, with the mayor of New York, Eric Adams, who looks very excited to be with him. Now, we found that picture, by the way, in less than a minute online. Yet, as far as we know, apart from us on this show, no one has asked Eric Adams about it, and it's likely that nobody ever will. And the reason is simple. The media have no interest in covering the sexualization of children. Their interest, and it's a very intense interest, tellingly so, is in destroying anyone who complains about the sexualization of children or who even notices it. Noticing it, they tell us, is an attack on the LGBT community. The gay people are in favor of molesting kids. It's in favor of performing genital mutilation on minors. But that's absurd. No normal person is for this, gay or not. It's not anti-gay to oppose kiddie porn or to feel horror at the fact that doctors are cutting the breasts off of healthy teenage girls. These are crimes, and most gay people think they're crimes. Why wouldn't they think that? Protecting children from adults who want to sexually exploit them is a basic human instinct, and it's a noble instinct. And yet NBC News is doing its best to redefine that instinct as a crime. Yesterday, NBC brought on its law enforcement expert, by the way, a former assistant director of the FBI, to warn viewers that anyone who complains about the sexualization of children will be punished by the legal system, will be sued into bankruptcy and destroyed. Watch this.
there was going to be a drag brunch the next day at Club Q. And that's a way to get kids to see, hey, look, it's a person, doesn't necessarily look like the people that you see every day at the store or whatever. But these are real people with lives and emotions. They like the same stories that you do. There's nothing sexualized about it. But every time there's one of those now, the Proud Boys show up because there's an account on the internet called Libs of TikTok that's been pushed by, Tucker Carlson and the Babylon Bee and the far right.
Tucker in particular seems fixated on this anti-queer panic. In addition to his diatribes against drag shows, he's platformed anti-trans activists, used particularly vicious and extreme rhetoric to attack children's hospitals for providing trans youth with medical care.
If he's a consumer of the people we just rattled off, from Lauren Boebert to Tucker Carlson, let's get it out. Let's get it out at trial. Let's expose it for what it is, name it and shame it. He's a consumer of these people, and those people should face civil consequences from the victims.
So I don't like how they're conflating the, LGBT thing with pedophilia because they are not the same. So, and Tucker was kind of doing it. He does that when he does his show. He likes to freaking say, oh, it's not that. But then he says things that make it sounds like he's saying it is that. You know what I mean? That's his whole shtick. He does that all the time, and it kind of protects himself when it comes to like the journalism and when it comes to people attacking him, because he can say, oh, look, I said that it wasn't that. But then you go right behind it and say something else. So it's confusing to, it sounds to me that he is conflating, LGBTQ with pedophilia. But him covering that, he did a good job of covering the Balenciaga ad and what it was. He was on with that. Let me read some comments underneath here right quick before we go. It says, it's honestly horrifying what's happening in America right now. This is underneath Chuck Tucker's video right here on YouTube. Another comment, it says, thanks for exposing all these sickening people. We can't tolerate any of these. Protect the children. Congrats to standing against this, Tucker. Another comment, I'm calling for immediate investigation on everyone, including the parents. They are very sick and they are trying to normalize this disgusting behavior. Investigation on everyone, including the parents? Like, who are you talking about, lady? Let me read another comment. It says, disgusting. Why are we allowing this nauseating and repulsive behavior to continue to happen right in front of our faces? Thank you for exposing them. Well, all of the backlash that happened with this, they had to pull down that ad. They couldn't keep running that one. Let me read another one. It says, it makes my blood boil not being able to protect all children from the repulsing and revolting things that surround them today. It's pure evil. Another comment, it says, if you're not pissed off about what's going on with our children, then you are the problem. This is a very serious and very real. We need to have these psychopaths investigated and thrown in prison. Another comment, it says, I don't think I have ever been more grateful to you, Tucker. This is a horrendous crime against our most innocent, vulnerable humans, and most people just turn a deaf ear. It makes them uncomfortable. Moral cowards. I think all the other comments are going to be the same. Yep. What do you think, Pat? You there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Because we're talking. What's the shit? Just give me a quick. I
was just playing the Tucker Carlson talking about Balenciaga ad, which was blatantly, pedophilic.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, these people shouldn't be getting no kind of play around the world if they don't agree with the stance that they live at, and you know, be boycotting them just as much as we're supposed to be boycotting them behind something you know, with Kanye. Like, we need to boycott them because this is just not a good humanitarian thing, and we don't need to promote, produce, or spread, because I mean, to me, that's anti-Semitic. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you bothering children is, to me, you know, the same as how some people look at the anti-Semitic stuff. Because I mean, regardless of your race, these children, they know whose side that I'm on. So
Yeah, shit, I'm gonna have to wrap it, bro. I got to get up, and if I don't wrap it now, I'm gonna be hurting real bad.
yeah, I've been here kind of trying to work and stuff. It's about that time for me still, but got dry eyes. So I'm just, whew, I think it's about that time for me too.
All right, man. I'm gonna be back tomorrow, and the stuff I didn't get to, I'm gonna make sure I get to it tomorrow.
For sure.
And I think I'm only scheduled in the morning, so I might come on early tomorrow.
Okay, let me know. I'll be doing a little traveling tomorrow, but
Yeah, like 9-10 o'clock. I'm gonna shoot for like 9-10 o'clock tomorrow.
what, in the morning?
No. I have to work in the morning.
Oh, okay.
9-10 p.m.
Oh yeah. Hopefully,
It's a little bit earlier than normal.
I hope to make it all the way back to Austin by then.
Yeah, and then I can have a full show and really like cover everything that I wanted to get to. Cause
Yeah, because we missed both Wednesday and Thursday. Right?
Oh yeah. Wait, no. Yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah. I didn't do a Wednesday show.
No, we talked about it.
I thought that okay, cause Thanksgiving was the next day. Okay, yeah. Well, I'm definitely gonna do a show tomorrow, and I might do a bonus just because I missed those 2 days. Most likely I will, because I like to do 3 shows a week. So I'll figure out a way to do it. Maybe I'll do a Sunday show.
Interesting.
Maybe. I ain't gonna guarantee that, but
Oof.
maybe. All right, man. Shit. Peace and love. Thank y'all for joining.
Peace.
We got a solid 3.5 hours in, so that's a full show. I was going fast though. I didn't get to touch on everything thoroughly, so we might come back to some of this stuff.
That's cool.
All right, man. Peace and love. Get you some rest, man. Thank y'all for
Peace and
listening.
love.
Thank y'all for joining. We'll be back tomorrow. All right.